It might be only 11 games into the season, but for the third time this summer, the Wareham Gatemen taking on the Hyannis Harborhawks, and for the second time at McKeon Park. With Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. Alex, it's a Wareham team that sits at 4-5-1, a Hyannis team 4-5-1 as well, so it's for sure to be a great divisional matchup on the east side, and two teams that are vying for wins. A Wareham team that have lost 4 of their last 5 games, and Hyannis has won 2 of their last 4.
Yeah, this Wareham team 500 on the road, and this is a big game tonight. A win on either side will put each team at 500, so a key point, and especially like you said, Cam, this is the third time that these two teams have faced off in a league that is so important by your division as well as the point system. These interdivisional games are so crucial.
Especially because you play the respective teams multiple amount of times compared to the East Division playing out of division to the West. And with Cotuit playing so well, the Kettleers at 9-0-1, you have to think about the East Division worrying about catching up to Cotuit, although 4 out of the 5 teams will make the playoffs. So the Wareham Gatemen enter this game fresh off a 5-3 win over Harwich a couple days ago. Of course, yesterday an off day. That ended a 4-game skid. Alex, out of that game, what did you see that you liked?
Well, it was a whole team win, right? I mean, the offense did end up clicking in the top of the 9th, and that's what gave huge insurance runs that even though the game almost got away from the Gatemen in the bottom half of that inning, the runs mattered in the top of the 9th, and it was all around, like I said earlier, a team win and a big one to end that 4-game losing streak.
Alex, I think the most incredible part is that's the second win this season where the Wareham Gatemen have been out-hit, but they still come out on top. The first game against these Hyannis Harborhawks, a 2-1 victory for the Gatemen. They were out-hit 7-3, and in that Harwich one, out-hit 10-6. So it'll be really interesting to see if the Gatemen offense can get it going against a Hyannis team that's been playing really well over the last 4 games. But before we get to that, we're going to take a quick break here on the Gatemen Radio Network. We're going to come back, and our own Claire Foley will talk with a newcomer for your Wareham Gatemen. Stay with us. This is Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Radio Network.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including 5th-year master's programs at curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 and try their famous Colossal Lobster Rolls, piled high on a grilled brioche and served hot buttered or just the right amount of mayo and celery with fries and coleslaw. The 99, always the real deal.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, the home of the Hyannis Harborhawks, the second time that the Gatemen have played the Harborhawks here in Hyannis, Massachusetts. Alongside Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. Now we enter the break by talking about this offense for the Wareham Gatemen and the Harborhawks. I said that this Harborhawks offense has been great over the last 4 games. The batting average, 243. For the Wareham Gatemen, they've only batted 155 over the last 4 games. So Alex, entering this one, anyone you keying in on for the Wareham Gatemen to get it done against a Harborhawks team that they beat 11-5 just a week ago, and it seemed like the offense really caught its stride then?
Well, the key part of this lineup that really needs to get going is Alan Roden, a new face, made his debut 2 nights ago and is in the cleanup spot here tonight, and for his second appearance in this Gatemen team. They're looking for major production out of that cleanup spot, and Alan Roden just gives so much more depth to this lineup. He can really hit to all fields, both contact and power, and he is really well at first base defensively. So all around, he's a guy that you can really keep your eye on. And then it's the bottom half of that lineup, right? The 6 through 9 spots here tonight have struggled over the last week or so. But so again, you got to have a breakout game. And if you go back to the last game when the Gatemen were here in Hyannis, they broke out in that first inning, which they head to that game struggling at the plate. So if they can kind of duplicate that game here tonight, that could go really well, as we have a big stretch of games coming up.
Yeah, Alex, this was a Gateman team that scored 7 runs within the first 3 innings against Hyannis. The second time they met him, the first time here at McKeon Park. And the first name you mentioned, Alan Roden, went 0 for 3 in that win against Harwich, but had a walk to kick off his plate appearances here in the Cape Cod Baseball League, back-to-back appearances at first base. The first time he's batting cleanup. And with that, we send it down to Claire Foley, who's joined by the new face, the new Creighton Blue Jay.
Thanks, guys. Here with Alan Roden. Alan, how do you feel like you've been adjusting? You just got here the other day.
Adjusting okay. It's always, a little bit different using a wood bat compared to an aluminum bat. And, just coming up to the Cape and, getting used to the team and the fields we're playing on. But, it's coming along and, it can only get better. So.
And you just wrapped up your senior season at Creighton. How do you feel that went for you?
Yeah, personally, I think I had a good year. You always expect to do a little bit more than maybe you did with your, in terms of the team. But it is what it is. And personally, I think I, got better, and that's always what you're looking for a successful year. So definitely feel pretty good about it.
Now, I saw in your bio you're a fan of The Office, so going to combine that with baseball a little bit. Have any baseball superstitions?
Yeah, I mean, if I have a good game, I'll basically wear exactly what I wore the day before. And if I have a bad game, I'll switch everything up, whether that's batting gloves, which sock I wear on. So, I feel like every baseball player has little things that they do. If something's going well, they're definitely not going to change it. So I'm just exactly the same way.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Alex, I'm a superstitious person myself. I don't know about you. Yeah, Alan Roden 0 for 3, so he probably won't be wearing anything that he wore against Harwich, except obviously the uniform, because it's still the road uniforms for this Wareham Gateman team in the full cranberry colors with the white and dark blue letters and numbers. But yeah, I'm a superstitious person, and Alan seems to be too. And hey, if superstitions will drive his success here in the Cape Cod Baseball League, then I'm going to trust him, because he did lead the Blue Jays in batting average back in the spring.
Well, I think I can count on my one hand of baseball players I've met who are not superstitious. So I think it goes hand in hand. If you're a baseball player or involved in the game, I think it's a matter of fact of not if you are superstitious, it's what are you superstitious about.
Right, that's very true. And one guy that's going out to the bump, that he might be superstitious and he might bring back his stuff that he compiled in last week's start here on the Cape Cod Baseball League, because he pitched so well, is Jason Woodward out of Florida Gulf Coast. 4 innings of work in that 4-1 win over Brewster. Didn't give up a hit or an earned run. He struck out a couple as well. A guy in Woodward that fastball heavy, but is really good at locating the zone. What are you expecting out of the Florida Gulf Coast product in his second outing in the first here against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks?
Well, I think it's key. You got to throw strikes, right? You got to get a good foundation going. You don't want it to happen and let this game get out of hand. You got a lot of games being played. Off day Monday, and then we have 7 games straight for the first time, where it kind of seems like we eased into this season, right? We've had 3 games, off day, 3 games, another off day, but the next about 2 weeks is going to put a lot more pressure on this pitching staff. And while we do have a lot of new faces, both in the rotation and in the bullpen, it's a matter of fact, right? The offense hasn't really been there the last few games, so with just that puts more pressure on the pitchers to really get the key outs and limit the big hit from the opposing team. But you got to continue that momentum here tonight, and by doing that, Woodward has to really set a good tone on the mound.
Woodward had one of the best starts so far in the Cape League. And Jonathan Brand, Michael Sansone, they've had their second outings and didn't pan out as well as the first. But Woodward coming off one where 4 innings of scoreless baseball, the 3 strikeouts and the 2 walks, the ERA still blank, and he'll look to do it again here against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. First pitch is set for 6 o'clock. This has been the South Coast Health pre-game show, and one thing I'll leave you with, I already mentioned it, but you said the offense has been struggling. Wareham has lost 4 of its last 5. In the last 4 games, they've batted only .155 with just 17 hits. So I'll leave you with that, and on the other side, we'll break down lineups and bring you the action between Wareham and Hyannis here on the Gateman Radio Network. We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod, free of charge. On behalf of the 9 other teams, the Wareham Gatemen, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2022 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize the Yawkey Foundation, Gibson Sotheby's, Curry College, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod, Badger Sport, Zephyr Hats, Cape Cod 5 Cents Saving Bank, Milton Cat, Mosquito Marys, Massachusetts State Lottery. We will be back to you in the next inning for the second half of this outstanding list of loyal sponsors.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. On a gorgeous day here at Judy Walden's Scarfile Field at McKeon Park, it's Wareham Gatemen baseball on the road for the second straight game, and they'll play a road game tomorrow, then be back at home for a doubleheader, and then it's a bit of a home stretch, which will be nice for every Gateman fan. But now you just got to hear Alex and I's voices on this YouTube stream, and then we'll get to it back at Spillane Field. Let's break down the lineups for both teams, starting with the home team, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Leading off is Mitchell Jebb at third. Behind him is Tito Flores, best batting average on this team at .333. He's playing left. Justin Hyannis is the DH. Jacob Campbell is the catcher. And then it's Cole McConnell in center. Nolan Shanuel at first. He's probably one of the best hitters on this team, but really hasn't shown it early on. Philip Matulia and right, Rocco Pepe at short, and Riku Nishida rounding things out at second. We head over to the Wareham Gatemen side of things. Leading off is Jack Hausinger, and almost a mimicry of what we saw at the beginning of the season. Hausinger hasn't really gotten to that leadoff spot from Harvey Shapiro in the last week or so. Following him is Hogan Windish, who's been the most consistent hitter on this team. He's been in the 2-hole, and he's playing left for the entire season. Now for the 11th game of the season, Max Anderson, he's back in the 3-hole after Alan Roden took that spot in that Harwich win a couple days ago. They flip-flop, so Max Anderson at the 3, Alan Roden at the 4. Blake Wright will man short and will be in the 5-hole. Out of Clemson, Ian Farrow heading to Miami in the fall is in right, and he'll bat out of the 6-hole. Rounding things out, a pair of Gator boys from Florida, Ty Evans and Derek Fabian, and then Peter Burns is the back end of the battery, catching for Jason Woodward. Let's get underway here at McKeon Park here in beautiful Hyannis, Massachusetts. Barely any clouds in the sky. The sun is peering down, and a stark difference from when the Gatemen were last here a week ago, an 11-5 win for Wareham, but it was chilly the entire night. The wind was gusting in from outfield to in, and this is really nice to finally have a sunny day here at McKeon.
Yeah, perfect day for baseball.
On the mound for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks is Brandon Llewellyn out of Pepperdine. The righty in his second outing here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. He pitched exactly 7 days ago against the Falmouth Commodores. In that one, he went 3 innings of work, gave up a hit and an earned run, struck out 2 and walked 2 as well, as he deals to the top of the order for the Wareham Gatemen in Jack Hausinger, who's 8th in the Cape Cod Baseball League in batting average, and back in the leadoff spot for Harvey Shapiro and company for the first time in a week or so. As Llewellyn is set at the neck, then drops to the belt, delivers the pitch. Breaking ball called strike 1 on the outer half. So Brandon Llewellyn wrapped up his sophomore season, 6'2", 155. Pepperdine wave. Another breaking ball misses low for Llewellyn. He led the team with 5 wins, a 3.38 ERA. That was in his freshman season. For the Wave, followed it up with a 4.14 ERA and 71 2/3 innings of work. The kick in the fire, Hausinger swings at the pitch. It's a base hit through the right side of the infield, and that's a leadoff hit for Jack Hausinger. And now an on-base streak up to 8 for the Ezeir product.
Yeah, Hausinger been one of the most just more productive players at the plate, and you see it 8 games in a row that he's reached, and you can see why that Harvey Shapiro really put him back in that top half of the order.
Almost a repeat sight from that 11-5 win for the Gatemen last week against the Harbor Hawks here at McKeon. The first 6 batters reached base, and that led to Eric Beatty, the manager for the Harbor Hawks, pulling his starting pitcher, Baumeister. Leadoff on the pitch to Windish. Fastball called strike 1 on the inner half. So Jack Hausinger now with 3 hits against the Harbor Hawks this season, 1 in each of the first 2 matchups. And here in the third, the Gatemen are 2-0 against the Harbor Hawks in the young season, a 2-1 win on opening day at home, and then an 11-5 victory just a couple days later here at McKeon. So Hogan Windish stands in out of UNC Greensboro. He's on the right side of the batter's box. We'll watch that fastball miss high and outside, count 1-1. For a guy in Hogan Windish, who leads the Cape Cod Baseball League with 5 doubles, that actually totals the amount of doubles that the Harbor Hawks have in totality. So known to get on base with extra base hits. He's also hit safely in 9 of his last 10. A set in the fire, breaking ball. That misses upstairs. It's off speed from Llewellyn. And Hogan Windish is up on the count 2-1. Windish has 2 hits on the season against the Harbor Hawks. He stands in, swings his bat like a windmill, now rests it on his right shoulder. The pitch swung on foul tip into the glove of the catcher, Jacob Campbell. The count 2-2. For a guy in Hogan Windish that has batted out of the 2-hole in now all 11 games for the Wareham Gatemen, he's gotten the start as well in all 11. Set at the belt is Llewellyn. He delivers the 2-2. Breaking ball, slap to left, base hit. So back-to-back base knocks for Jack Hausinger and then Hogan Windish, and the first 2 on for the Gatemen here in the top half of the first.
Yeah, great job by the Gatemen here, putting the pressure on right away. Still nobody out, and you got this really new confidence in the minds of the hitters now. Okay, we can really attack here and try to do something like we did the last time we came to Hyannis.
Last time they came, the first 6 batters reached in the top half of the first, made it 4-0 before first out was recorded by the Harbor Hawks. Standing in is the righty Max Anderson. Righty on righty, Llewellyn pitches. It's fouled back over our head above the netting. There's still no outs in the top half of the first here at McKeon Park. Jack Hausinger a leadoff single, he's at second, followed right behind Hogan Windish, who takes a couple strides, make it 5 off of first base. The single to left. 2 on, no outs. The 0-1 from Llewellyn, who set at the belt and delivers. Breaking ball fouled back from Anderson. So Max Anderson was 0 for 3 in that opening day win against the Harbor Hawks. Followed it up 1 for 5 in that second game against Hyannis. He already has a hit at this ballpark. Nebraska Cornhusker batted .299 in the spring after a Big Ten Freshman of the Year nod. Peering in is Llewellyn, puts his glove up to his nose, drops it to the belt. Looks off at second, the kick in the fire. Another breaking ball, it's chopped to the Hyannis dugout. The count 0-2 to Max Anderson. Anderson batted out of the 4-hole for the first time this season in that win over Harwich a couple days ago. Went 0 for 3 with a base on balls. Leaning forward, Llewellyn, he gets the sign, likes it from Campbell. Set at the belt. The 0-2 delivery. Fastball high, misses in the attic, count 1-2. A .299 average for Anderson in the spring. Well, he led the Cornhuskers in hits, 67, and home runs with 10, as well as RBIs with 45. The bat has some pop to it. Set at the letters Llewellyn. Drops to the belt, looks off at second. The delivery. Breaking ball, chopped to the left side and through. Hausinger will stop at third as Harvey Shapiro was thinking about the wave, but instead keeps Hausinger at third. Back-to-back-to-back singles to lead off this game, and this is very eerily similar to that 11-5 win for the Gatemen, where the first 6 batters reach. Now the first 3 batters reach, all with singles.
Yeah, the last time the Gatemen came here, the first 2 batters walked, and then it was just a hit parade that followed that scored 4 runs. And this is a player at the plate that wasn't here the last time they came to Hyannis, but looking to join that first inning hit parade right now.
Also looking to pick up his first hit of Cape Cod Baseball League action. He's on the left side, Llewellyn the pitch. Called strike on the outside corner to Alan Roden, the Creighton Blue Jay. He's manning first. The second straight game. He walked in his opening plate appearance in that win over Harwich a couple days ago. Takes a couple practice swings. Now will hold the lumber above his left shoulder, does the lefty. It's a righty on lefty matchup. The pitch on the 0-1 breaking ball outside. Roden 6 foot 210. 0 for 3 against righties. In that Harwich win a couple days ago, he's facing a righty here in Llewellyn out of Pepperdine. 1-1 pitch. Another breaking ball. It's roped to the left and falls deep into left center and will roll all the way to the warning track. One comes in to score. Windish races around third and scores as well. 4 straight singles to open up the first, and the Gatemen take a 2-0 lead.
The presence of Roden feeling felt already quickly here in the first inning. His first hit, 2 RBIs were scored in a Gateman uniform, and that's the kind of guy that Alan Roden is, right? You saw it, just a little contact, went the other way with it, drove it into left field, and you don't need to hit a home run in that spot. Again, it's just a good base hit into left field that scored 2 runs, and just like that, already a quick Gateman lead here in the first.
Over the head of Dominic Patelli at short. The 3rd straight single laced to left for the Gatemen. Now stepping in is Blake Wright with runners at first and third and 2 scratched across here in the top of the first. Breaking ball low. Count 1-0. To Blake Wright that recorded 2 RBIs in that 11-5 win over Hyannis in the early season. But he is 0 for his last 9. The pitch. On the ground is short, flipped over to second, Nishida over to first for a double play, but coming in to score is Max Anderson. The first 2 outs recorded in the top of the first, but it also scores a run. It's 3-0 Gatemen with 2 away in the opening frame. 6-4-3, initiated by Patelli over to Nishida, relayed it over to first to Shanuel. Now the base is empty for the righty Ian Farrow out of the 6 hole. First pitch misses high on an off speed. This is a Gateman team that just knows how to move runners, do their individual jobs against Harwich. Majority of their runs were actually scored without a hit being recorded. The pitch, fastball fouled back on the 1-0, counts 1-1. Alex, in that win over Harwich, a run scored on a grounder into a double play, just like it did in that last pitch. A balk, an error, a walk with the bases loaded. This team just knows how to do their job. The 1-1. Another breaker, dips down, but not enough on the tailing end, misses inside.
Right, it goes back to that old saying, right? It's not, it doesn't care, people don't care how it happens, it's just how it's done, right? You still scored more runs than your opposing team and you won. That's all that matters.
Another pitch, fastball misses outside. Count 3-1 in favor of Ian Farrow. We head into the University of Miami in the fall. Recorded a stellar season at Florida Gulf Coast this past spring. Single season records in home runs and RBIs. Set at the neck, the delivery from Llewellyn. Breaking ball, popped up out of play. Now the count works full by Ian Farrow with 2 away in the top of the first, and the Gatemen already a 3-0 advantage.
Yeah, one thing to note about this Gateman offense that is so underrated, they rank second in the league with runs scored, first obviously being Cod, the undefeated team. So again, doesn't matter how many hits you have as long as you are scoring more than your opposing team.
Payoff fouled back, out of play. It's a good point you make there. Wareham Gateman 39 runs. You're right, second in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And it's happened without this Wareham team hitting well over the last 4 games, just a 155 average. Overall, just a 205 batting average. Llewellyn, set at the nose, drops to the belt, the kick in the fire. Fastball on the ground through the left side of the infield, past the outstretched glove of Patelli, and Ian Farrow records the 5th single of the first for the Wareham Gatemen. And this frame is not over yet. 2 away in the top of the first, Farrow at first. It'll bring up Ty Evans.
Yeah, and it looks like, I mean, Jackson Emos was getting hot quickly in that bullpen, and we'll see if it looks like they are making a change.
They're going to make the change as Eric Beatty, the field manager for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, will pull his pitcher after facing just 6 batters. I talk about eerily similar to that 11-5 win over the Harbor Hawks just a week and a half ago. It's actually the exact same as the starting pitcher Brandon Llewellyn in his second outing gives up 5 hits, 3 runs, and the frame isn't even over yet. And Beatty will turn to another pitcher out of the pen. We'll take a short break, and then we'll tell you who that pitcher is on the other side. It's Wareham Gateman Baseball, the Gateman Radio Network, with the Gatemen leading 3-0. Each and every game here at Spillane Field is made possible by our sponsors. Let's take a moment to recognize Gateway Tavern, Coastal Orthodontics, Fairway Financial, Joanne Stevenson, Sullivan Wine and Spirits, Deb Levesque Massage Therapy, the Law Office of Mark Deshays, Office Technology Group, J&M Baseball Academy, South Coast Health, Minkle Boys Catering, 80 Makepeace, Reed Custom Soils, Soft as a Grape, Bay Motor Inn, Point Sign, Wareham, Sipicon, and Dartmouth Week, Cranberry Self-Storage, Village Signs, the Law Office of Lang, Exaferris, and Bullard, Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally LLP, Robertson's GMC, Effie's Homemade, Wareham Country Market, the Wareham House of Pizza, Robbery's Tree Service, Patty Wild, Onset Bay Association, Select PT, El Mariachi, Water Whiz, and Cool Cone. Thank you once again to our sponsors of your Wareham Gatemen. It's the top of the first inning at McKeon Park here in Hyannis, Massachusetts, for the 3rd meeting between Hyannis and Wareham. With Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. New pitcher on for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks after Brandon Llewellyn gave up 5 singles, 3 runs, and now turns the ball over to Jackson Emis, a junior out of Princeton. Did not play in 2020 because of an injury. In 2021, in that summer, played for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks of the NECBL, and this past spring, a 4.76 ERA as he gets set and fires. Breaking ball low to the first pitcher that Emis is facing today in Ty Evans, one of 3 Florida Gator hitters on this team, one of 2 that's featured in the lineup. The on-deck circle's Derek Fabian, his teammate at Florida. The 7-hole hitter Ty Evans stands in. He'll be in center field on the defensive side. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball low, called strike 1.
Amos in a big spot right here. You want to do exactly what happened the last time the Gatemen came here. They made a pitching change in the first inning, but that pitcher really rode and shut down this Gateman offense. And obviously, if you're the Gatemen, you want to keep this inning alive.
4 runs in the first against Hyannis in that 11-5 win a week and a half ago as a fastball misses inside. Count 2-1. Already 3 here in the top of the first. Ian Farrow's at first after the 5th single of the frame for the Gatemen. Emis puts the ball near his right hip, now meets it with the glove, takes a deep breath and delivers. Just misses a bit low They count 3-1. Emis can't believe it as he adjusts the lip on his hat, steps off the rubber, and blows into his fist. His glove on his left hand is near his left hip, while the ball is on the opposite hip, with Farrow off a couple steps at first. Emis the 3-1. Check swing he went through on that ball in the dirt, count full. For Ty Evans and a Florida Gator crew that has struggled so far, the Cape Cod Baseball League, between Evans, Fabian, and their other Gator teammate, 0 for 24 with 13 Ks. The other teammate is Michael Robertson, who's not in the lineup today. The payoff pitch with 2 away, runner goes, swing and a miss, gets away from the catcher Campbell, so drop strike 3, but picking it up is Campbell over to first, and that'll finally end the top of the first, but not before the Wareham Gatemen scratch across 3 and record 5 singles en route to a 3-0 lead. We'll head to the bottom half of the first and see the Hyannis Harbor Hawks offense for the first time today on the Wareham Gatemen Network.
And ticks. No, yikes! When the bugs get scary, just call Mosquito Mary's 866 Ask Mary or visit us at mosquitomarys.com.
The Wareham-based 80 Makepeace Company, founded in 1854, is the world's largest cranberry grower and the largest private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
In the bottom of the first at McKeon Park on a gorgeous day. The clouds are loosely scattered. The sun is peering down on a magnificent Cape League day. Fresh off an off day for both these teams, and now the Gatemen lead 3-0. Maybe generated some of that power during the off day, got to rest a little back at McKeon Park with Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir. Out on the bump for his second outing here this summer is Jason Woodward out of Florida Gulf Coast, through 76 2/3 innings this past spring for the Eagles. 82 Ks to just 34 walks, a 4.11 ERA, but the most impressive part of Jason Woodward's game is actually what we saw from him a week ago in that 4-1 win over Brewster. 4 innings of work, hitless baseball, scoreless baseball, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. So shut down the reigning Cape Cod Baseball League champions, and he'll look to do the same today against the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, for the starters on this Gatemen team, it seems like they have kind of struggled in their second outing. So again, I mean, Woodward, this is a team that I feel like he can really put his best stuff to work here tonight and try to get something going. He's got a quick lead too, 3-0 lead already before he's thrown his first pitch. So, you know, he's probably feeling pretty comfortable on the mound here tonight.
We'll see what Wareham can get out of the Titusville, Florida native. Chose to stay in the state as he gets set at the belt to deliver to the leadoff hitter Mitchell Jebb. He's facing the Gatemen for the first time this season. The lefty takes a strike down the pipe. Good fastball from Woodward, who features a fastball, curveball, and changeup. That fastball can top around 94. The pitch, another fastball, dips low, called strike 2. So the count 0-2, and Jason Woodward is ahead of Mitchell Jebb. Jebb out of Michigan State. Batting leadoff, playing third today for the Harbor Hawks as he takes a bend, now stands on the right side of the plate. The pitch, it's poked to center and bounces for a base hit. So a leadoff single for both these teams, and Mitchell Jebb gets the Harbor Hawks on the base paths for the first time today as the leadoff hitter is on. And now Jason Woodward will get back to work. And for Mitchell Jebb out of Michigan State, just his 5th game played here in the Cape and just his 3rd hit. Is entering in is Tito Flores, the left fielder, best batting average on this team at .333. Also ranks top 10 in the Cape. 10 hits in 30 at-bats. He's their most dynamic hitter. 2 steps off first base is Jebb. Now he leans toward the opening pitch to Flores, misses low. The hitting parade for both teams. Now 6 singles and only 3 outs recorded by both teams combined. Woodward set at the belt, looks down, the pitch. Another fastball misses low, so after throwing 3 consecutive strikes to Mitchell Jebb, the third one, the third baseman capitalized on a pair of fastballs low. And Tito Flores out of Michigan is up on the count 2-0. His 9th Cape League game of the summer. Slight knee bend, hovering that bat over his helmet. The pitch, fastball in there for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. The runner at first, no outs in the home half of the first for the Harbor Hawks. Flores stands in. The count 2-1 with 1 on. Slight leadoff as Jebb. Woodward will look back that way. Throw the ball in the direction of the first baseman, Roden. Stepping back in safely is Jebb. Tito Flores still with that slight knee bend of both his right and left legs. 2-1 kick in the fire. Another fastball called strike 2. It's a good recovery after missing a few low. So Tito Flores, named Big Ten All-Tournament team at the designated hitter spot. All Midwest Region's 2nd team as a DH as well. But today he's playing in the field at left, up at the plate. The 2-2 count. The pitch. Another fastball fouled off the back foot of Flores as Burns will check on the runner at first.
Yeah, when a pitcher has so much confidence in the defense behind him, you can really throw more strikes and you can really try to battle a batter even more so when, as long as they don't hit it out of the park, you're pretty confident that the defense has a shot to make an out with it. So again, a key part right here, just a lot of strikes so far by Woodward.
7 strikes on 10 pitches. Runner goes, breaking ball popped up in the infield, now ranging into foul territory. It'll fall out of play near the dugout of the gateman, and reverting back to first is Jebb, as he was off and running for a Hyannis team that's 8 for 11 on stolen bases this season. Ranks middle of the pack in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Trees surround from foul pole to foul pole in the outfield. There's bleachers right behind the dugout on the far side. Runner at first, the kick in the fire. This misses out of the strike zone, much to the chagrin of these Gateman fans who have made the long trek to Hyannis. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. It's Woodward in his first payoff pitch position, as he fidgets with the ball near his right hip and now meets it with the glove. Peers off at first. Runner goes, payoff pitch, fastball chopped to the left side, scooped up Blake right over to first, 1 away, but safe at second is Mitchell Jebb. So smart that he took off, because if he didn't, that might have been a potential double play.
Yeah, smart move by Jedd. Obviously, you're a leadoff hitter, you get on base right away, and you can't get hit into a double play with nobody out already when you're down by 3 runs. So smart experience from Jedd to just try to create some chaos on the base paths as much as you can, already trailing early on.
Now Woodward will look to create chaos against another lefty. The first one reached in Jebb. First pitch, fastball swung on to deep center field. Moving back is Evans at the wall. It bounces at the base of the wall. Accelerating around third, coming home Jebb. And stopping in his tracks at second is Justin Janis, the designated hitter. A long shot to deep center that spun around Ty Evans. 1 run comes in to score. There's another standing in scoring position. It's 3-1 Gateman over the Harbor Hawks, and that's the first run that Jason Woodward has surrendered so far this summer.
Yeah, first pitch swinging, drilling it, and gets a run in, and that's important, right? So if Jedd doesn't go right away on that ground ball that Flores hit to Blake Wright at short, that's a potential double play, like you said, Cam. And even if it's not, and let's say they get Jedd out at second, it would only get more than likely Flores to third, but that's a huge, crucial run scored narrow that lead.
First pitch is hacked to right field. Moving back, Farrow leaps. Can't make the catches off his glove. Stopping at second, now turning to third is Hyannis, and halting at second is Jacob Campbell. So the two fighting Illini on for the Harbor Hawks, and Jason Woodward has given up base hits, 2 doubles on back-to-back pitches as he checks out the ball and then secures it in his glove. Runners at second and third for the Harbor Hawks, 1 away in the bottom of the first. It's 3-1 Gateman over Hyannis.
Yeah, they gave it a hit, but then overruled that and turned it into an error. I mean, Farrow was right there. The ball was in the glove, bounced right out of it. And like I said, you throw the strikes thinking the defense is going to back you up, and unfortunately that's not happening right here.
Fastball's in there for a strike to the lefty Cole McConnell. Yeah, so an error charge to Ian Farrow in right. So Jacob Campbell reaches, gets to second. Justin Hyannis had to wait because if it was caught by Farrow, he might have thought about tagging up. So he wasn't able to score off reaction time. 2 in scoring position, Gateman a 2-run lead, the 0-1 pitch. Fastball, it's bounced to the right side, scooped up Anderson over to first. Run comes in to score for the Harbor Hawks. The Gatemen choose to take the secure out, and now it's 3-2 Wareham over Hyannis. Is coming in to score is Justin Hyannis, moving to third, Campbell.
Yeah, big at bat right here. You want to try to keep the lead that this offense already gave you in the first inning.
He'll do it against a 194 hitter in the summer. Set at the belt, the kick in the fire to Shanuel, hacks at the first pitch low. Nolan Shanuel out of Florida Atlantic University. A lot of people thought this guy would be a mainstay on this team. Division I baseball top 50 third baseman, was ranked 8th in the country as he watches that breaking ball miss outside. But Shanuel's been quite disappointing for a Harbor Hawks team that has featured him in every one of their games. 7 for 36, it's 194 like I mentioned. Struck out 6 times as well. Still no extra base hits on the summer. The 1-1, fouled back on a fastball down. So Hyannis is threatening here in the bottom of the first. Runner 90 feet away, that's the game tying run after Wareham had 5 singles in the top half of the first and scored 3 runs off of it. Getting ready, looking at the mound is Woodward, the 1-2 delivery. Called strike 3 on a swing and a miss from Nolan Shanuel, the 7th time he's struck out this summer, and Jason Woodward finally gets out of the frame. So through 1, it's been a hitting parade. Wareham 3 in the top half of the first, and Hyannis 2 in the home half. We head to the top of the second. Can the Gatemen add on to this lead? They've already put up 3. We'll see the offense once more with the 8, 9, and 1 hitters on the other side on the Gatemen Radio Network. Mark DeShays has been practicing law in southeastern Massachusetts for over 30 years. His primary focus is on all aspects of real estate law, including residential and commercial real estate transactions, commercial leasing, land development, land use and zoning law, and land conservation matters. If you need representation, call now at 508-993-2300.
Gibson Sotheby's International Realty is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League, offering residential sales and vacation rentals across the Cape. We help you turn someday into right now. Each office is independently owned and operated. Sotheby's International Realty is a registered trademark.
We want our money to work as hard for us when we retire as we did working to accumulate it. My name is Steve Anzoni, and I am president of Fairway Financial Insurance Agency. Money is just a tool to help you to do what you ultimately want to do, which is to travel, spend time with your kids, grandkids, and do other stuff. And I want to be the guy that's going to help you navigate the course of life to help you avoid those sand traps and get you onto the green and into the hole with greater financial confidence.
We're on the top of the second inning Here at McKeon Park in Hyannis, Massachusetts, alongside Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. Wareham Gateman scratched across 3 in the top half of the first. Hyannis responded with 2 of their own in the home half, and that's where we stand. New pitcher on the bump for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks is Alejandro Rosario out of the University of Miami. 6'1", 184 is the righty. Just wrapped up his sophomore season. 7.05 ERA in 15 games. Already the 3rd pitcher sent out by field manager Eric Beatty after Brandon Llewellyn was unable to record an out, and then Jackson Emis closed the door. The first deal to the 8-hole hitter Derek Fabian is a fastball called for strike 1 down the pipe. Interesting approach to send Emis out there to close out the first. He records 3 outs, and then you yank him. Righty on righty, Miami to Florida. The pitch, swing and a miss from Fabian, that fastball low. So quickly behind the count 0-2 is Derek Fabian, still searching for hit number 1 of the summer.
Yeah, and it's difficult. I mean, to be the first guy to face a new pitcher out of the pen you haven't seen yet this season, especially just joining the team just a few days ago, it's hard. You don't get a true scouting report from your teammates yet.
The delivery fouled back on a fastball from Derek Fabian, who's rocking number 37, white trim, dark blue letters and numbers. That cranberry maroon red combo on the top for the gateman with gray pants. Derek Fabian rocks a brace on his left leg. As he taps the plate, plants his back foot, peers in at the 0-2 delivery from Rosario. The pitch, fastball inside. For the gateman so far, 5 singles, 1 ground out, and 1 strikeout. Jacob Campbell out of Illinois will head out to the mound to talk it over with Alejandro Rosario. Few steps in front of the rubber. Now running back and putting his helmet back on is Campbell, who's been switching off with Pancho Ruiz at the catching duties behind the dish.
Yeah, it's tough. You're catching a lot of new pitchers. You just got to get back on the same page and really understand how exactly Rosario throws.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Swung on. High fly ball to shallow center, moving in, making the catch McConnell. 1 away in the top of the second, and Derek Fabian will readjust his helmet, head back to the dugout, still in search of hit number 1 on the summer as he turns it over to Peter Burns, the catcher out of the 9-hole. He's finally seen some action after not playing against Harwich a couple days ago. Already has 1 of his 2 hits against the Harbor Hawks this summer. Last game against Cotuit had a bunt single that was his 2nd hit of the young season. Burns the lefty up against Rosario the righty. Check swing at the first pitch, fouls it off near the knob of his bat. So he'll readjust his batting gloves, flip over his bat, give it a stare, take a practice swing, and then step into the batter's box. Pair of ACCers going at it. Miami on the bump, Boston College in the batter's box. The pitch, fastball high near the neck area of Burns.
Yeah, Burnsy is the guy that you just want to try to get something started here in the 2nd inning. He had a 3-0 lead heading into the bottom of the first. Hyannis battled back, made it a 1-run game now.
Swings at the pitch, shallow to left center. It'll drop right in front of the charging Flores. Base hit for Peter Burns, his 3rd of the summer. With 1 out in the top of the 2nd, the order is flipped. Hausinger steps back in, and Peter Burns takes off his batting gloves. A base hit with 1 away.
Yeah, that's huge. You want to really start something here in the 2nd. Not laying down the fight early on in this game, and then okay, we can get back at it.
Alex, they brought the fight in the first. They lead 3-2. Fastball, Hausinger check swing. It's called strike anyway. The count 0-1. Jack Hausinger owns one of the 6 singles for the Gatemen through the first time around the lineup. Practice swings low near the knee area. Now hovers it above his left shoulder, the pitch. That's strike 2 on the inner half. For a guy in Jack Hausinger that's upped his on-base streak to 8 after that single back in the first. He also scored one of the 3 runs for the Gatemen. Hit safely, and now 8 of his last 10 has Hausinger. Back in the leadoff spot for Harvey Shapiro. The 0-2 delivery. Fastball outside. Count 1-2. If you look at a guy like Jack Hausinger, he garners a lot of speed, not just on the base paths, but on the defensive side as well. Playing second for a majority of the back end of this early stretch of the season. Slow chopper, a dribbler down the third base line off his back foot, unable to make the throw is the pitcher Rosario. Hausinger would have probably beaten it out anyway as he got the lumber on it, and that bounced actually right before the dirt meets the grass in front of home plate. That's a base hit for Jack Hausinger. He's 2 for 2 on the day, and the 7th single for the Gatemen through an inning and a third. Hogan Windish will step in, does the righty. The runner at first and second, he had a single back in the first as well.
That'll boost up their average.
I mean, this is a Gateman team in the last 4 games have only mustered 17 hits. We're through an inning and a third. They got 7. Rosario looks off at second, now does it again. The fast pitch, hard hit ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Rounding third, coming home is Burns. His helmet almost falls off his head. He avoids the ball and leaps over the catcher Campbell. He's safe at the plate, and that ball bounced by Campbell's outstretched glove. And Peter Burns will give him a tap on the rear end, say, "Are you good?" Campbell obliges, says, "Yes, I am." And that's another single and an RBI single for Hogan Windish that brings home Burns. And the wave around third from Harvey Shapiro wasn't convincing. And Burns is lucky to even beat that one out because Campbell was set. The ball just bounced by him off that relay throw from McConnell in center. Gateman lead 4-2 as Rosario will stand back in on the rubber. Runner still at first and second, still 1 away. The delivery to Anderson swings at the first pitch. Back off the glove of Rosario, picks it up near the mound off a 1-hopper. It's scooped up by Shanuel. Now there's 2 away, but the runners do advance as Hausinger is at third and Windish is at second. 2 in scoring position, 2 away in the top half of the second. Brings up Alan Roden.
The cleanup hitter in Roden singled and 2 runs back in the first. A big spot right here. Another stake opportunity at the plate.
Alex, the last 2 batters have swung at the first pitch. Rosario dangles his right arm now, meets it with the glove. The opening pitch to Roden. That time, the Creighton Blue Jay chooses against swinging at the first one. Made the right decision, the count 1-0 and missed high. Mentioned that Alan Roden led the Creighton Blue Jays in batting average in the spring. Did so at .371. He bounces the lumber off the shoulders and watches the pitch. Breaking ball, strike 1 on the outer half.
Roden has great plate discipline and only really swings at the pitch he is looking for in an at-bat, and that's exactly what happened back in the first. Saw the pitch he wanted to swing at, did so, and it was successful. Drove in 2 runs, and he's going to wait right here for his exact pitch.
With 2 on, both in scoring position. Rosario the 1-1 delivery. Swing and a miss. Took a big hack at a ball that dipped low, count 1-2.
Looking for fastball there.
And instead it had a little off speed to it. So there's 2 away with runners at second and third. It's 4-2 Gateman. They've scratched across 1, courtesy of an RBI single from Hogan Windish. Alan Roden, already with 2 ribbies today, stands in. Righty against lefty. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Here's the toss. Fastball, grounder up the middle, scooped up off a 2-hopper by Patelli over to first in time. The Hausinger stepping on home plate won't matter, but Wareham does scratch across 1 more, and they've scored 3 in the top half of the first and followed that up with 1 in the top of the second. So it's Wareham 4, Hyannis 2 as Jason Woodward takes the mound for his 2nd inning of work. It's Wareham Gateman Baseball on the Gateman Radio Network.
Serving southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Office Technology Group has been the area's source for advanced digital multifunctional copiers since 2009. Call Office Technology Group at 508-858-5825.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your gateman at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. No trip to the Cape is complete without a trip to Soft as a Grape.
It's been quite the hyper start to this game between the Wareham Gatemen and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, but the first two were, and why not carry that one over to the third meeting between these two squads. With Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. An opening day 2-1 win for the Gatemen over the Harbor Hawks, in which Wareham had no hits and didn't even get on base. The Harbor Hawks had a perfect game going through 6, but the Wareham Gatemen still ended up winning that opening day matchup, and then an 11-5 win for the Gatemen, in which they scored 7 throughout the first 3 innings, and the bats blew up, and that actually led to some momentum moving forward for this Wareham team. And in this one, it's not just the Gatemen getting it going, but the Harbor Hawks as well. 2 hits in the bottom of the first, 2 runs as well, and it's now 4-2 Wareham over Hyannis as Woodward toes the rubber for his second inning of work, and he'll deal with the bottom of the order, starting with Philip Matulia, the right fielder, and the lefty with the long flowing blonde lettuce ranging out of the back of his helmet. The opening pitch, fastball low from Woodward, count 1-0.
8 hits through 2 innings. This Gateman offense hitting a red hot 615.
Wow. Incredible. Matulia hitting nothing there, gets all air as he hacks at a fastball down the pipe. Count 1-1. Philip Matulia out of Louisiana Tech, one of 2 players that play their collegiate ball at Louisiana Tech that are on this Harbor Hawks team. Cole McConnell's the other one. Slow bouncer down the first base line. Woodward picks it up, underhands it over to first, 1 away. Good control from Jason Woodward, who exited the mound and went over to his left side to grab it off a little 3-hopper and underhanded over to Roden. So now Jason Woodward has retired 3 straight, dating back to the first, and that'll give way to Dominic Patelli, the shortstop, another lefty that Woodward will face. Patelli out of the University of Miami, and we've already seen now 3 Hurricanes, with Patelli being one of them. The opening pitch, breaking ball, cut through and missed, count 0-1. The other 2, Alejandro Rosario, the pitcher in the top half of the second for the Harbor Hawks, and then Ian Farrow, who will be heading there in the spring. He's in right field. The 0-1 pitch, fouled back. Patelli down in the count 0-2, a 136 hitter this summer, 3 for 22. This just his 8th Cape League game. He's played in the last 7 for the Harbor Hawks. Set at the belt, the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, on the ground of the left side, right over to first, 2 away. Alex, pretty easy to be a pitcher when you have a stellar defense behind you that doesn't make a lot of errors, and you have a middle infield, and you can insert Max Anderson there, Jack Hausinger there, it doesn't matter. But Blake Wright is so consistent at short.
Yeah, I mean, Blake Wright's really been a star wherever you put him in the infield, especially playing shortstop. You know, that's one thing that really enticed him to come to the Cape this summer, to have a chance to play at short, and he's superseding every expectation there.
That was after playing the first 2 games at second, and then he was moved over to short. The opening pitch to Nishida, the 9-hole hitter, as he scrapes off the dirt on a fastball high, actually above his helmet. Set at the belt is Woodward. Nishida heading to Oregon in the fall. The kick in the fire. Fastball low, but it flirts with the bottom of the strike zone. The count 1-1 to Riku Nishida. Played his first 2 years of collegiate ball at Mount Hood, a JUCO. Now he's heading to Oregon. Lefty stands in, fastball misses high. Check swing from Nishida, he didn't go, as he stretches his right shoulder and swings the bat through. 2 balls, 1 strike the count. The pitch. Swing and a miss, tried to dig at that one. Good off speed from Jason Woodward as he left the back door open. Now deuces wild in the bottom of the second, Gateman 4, Harbor Hawks 2. With two away, the 2-2. Fastball high. Riku Nishida dusts off some dirt. Almost has that pseudo Juan Soto shuffle in his game. There's a lot of shenanigans on the right side of the plate. The pitch fouled away, almost a slapper swing that you see in softball as it hit the netting behind. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count to Nishida. Riku drops to the floor, gets back up. Now the pitch. Payoff misses low as Nishida takes off his batting gear. Will tip his helmet, head over to first. There's a 2-out base runner, courtesy of a base on balls delivered by Jason Woodward.
I mean, the command has been there all day for Woodward. First walk, and he was ahead at one point in time to Riku, but fell behind.
I bring up Mitchell Jebb, who singled off of Woodward in the first. He also scored a run. Lefty takes a hack at the fastball, fouls it off out of play to the left side. Mitchell Jebb was activated just 5 days ago, has played every game since as the third baseman. He also stole second back in the first, which put him in scoring position, which ultimately allowed him to come home off an RBI double from Hyannis. Woodward set at the belt, Nishida a big leadoff off of first, and that's why Woodward will check on him, and Nishida saw it coming. Takes a few crow hops, and a big stride off of first base Nishida has. Set at the belt, the 0-1, Nishida goes. It swung on, popped into foul territory near the makeshift bullpen for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks down the left field line. 0-2 is the count with 2 away in the bottom of the second. In every single frame in this game, these teams have had a base runner. None different in the bottom of the second after a 2-out walk given up by Jason Woodward, his 3rd walk of the summer. Dangles the ball, fidgets with it, trying to attach his grip. Now he's set at the belt, the 0-2 delivery. Nishida goes, swung on to deep left field, moving back Windish at the track, reaches up, makes the catch. What a play, Hogan Windish, as he moved back. He was confident all the way, and the Harbor Hawks strand one, and a hard hit ball is nothing to Hogan Windish as he'll jog back to the dugout. And we head to the top half of the third. Gateman 4, Harbor Hawks 2. Due up for the Wareham Gatemen. It's the middle of the order. We'll be back in a bit.
South Coast Health Operators of Charlton Memorial, St. Luke's, and Toby Hospitals delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as Southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Healthcare, plus something more.
Want your daily dose of news? Lucky for you, Wareham, Sipicon, and now Dartmouth Week has you covered. Whether you live in Wareham or in the surrounding areas, you can count on up-to-date news on sports, schools, and even the fine arts, courtesy of the partnership between Wareham, Sipicon, and Dartmouth Week. Head to theweektoday.com and search Wareham, Sipicon, or Dartmouth for more. We're on the top of the third here at McKeon Park with Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir. On the bump is Alejandro Rosario, and if you've missed a good portion of this game, the Gatemen scored 3 in the top half of the first. The Harbor Hawks responded with 2 of their own in the home half, and then Wareham kept the Harbor Hawks scoreless in the bottom half of the second. That was after scoring a run in the top of the second. Now we're in the top of the third, and Rosario is already the 3rd pitcher for the Harbor Hawks. He's in his 2nd inning of work. After Brandon Llewellyn didn't even record 1 out, gave up 4 hits and 3 runs, Jackson Emis came in, pitched a good inning. 1 run scored when he was on the bump, but it was earned to Brennan Llewellyn. Shaken off the pitch and now liking it's Rosario. The opening delivery, breaking ball fouled back by Wright. This Wareham team has done a great job ransacking pitchers early. Rosario peers in with his glove set between his belt and the letters. He likes the call, the kick in the fire. On the ground, slow to the left side, scooped up by the third baseman on a spin over to first. It is in time. What a play. Mitchell Jebb ranging to his left. He waved off his shortstop Patelli, spun around off that grab, threw it over to first, and good stretch by Nolan Shanuel over to the right side, and there's one away.
Yeah, great job. Get the lead out in the top of the third and try to just work the first 1, 2, 3 inning. Try to just calm down this Gateman offense.
It's scored in both of the frames offensively so far. It's 4-2 Wareham over Hyannis. The opening pitch to Farrow. Cuts at the first one and misses low. The count 0-1 to Ian Farrow, who's facing his future teammate in Alejandro Rosario. With one away in the top of the third. Rosario nods at the pitch. The back step, the kick in the fire, swing and a miss, another pitch down low, and a good break from Rosario on that off speed, and it's fooling Farrow so far.
Yeah, way out in front of it, but how quickly behind 0-2, so we'll see what Rosario chooses to do here.
Had a single back in the first. The delivery, breaking ball, popped up in the infield, both middle infielders moving in, but it's Patelli that makes the grab. At short, took a few steps in to the infield grass, and now there's 2 away. And you're right, the Harbor Hawks are threatening to record their first 1-2-3 inning of the game. Harbor Hawk pitchers face 7 in the first and 6 in the second. It's been 2 up, 2 down for Rosario, and he's swung on, rope to right. Ranging to his right, making the grab is Matulia. Just finished saying that Rosario had retired the last 4, make it 5. And a quick 1-2-3 for Alejandro Rosario as we head to the bottom of the third. It's 4-2 Gateman over the Harbor Hawks here on the Gateman Radio Network.
Reed Custom Soils is New England's leading provider of lightweight planting soil for green roof installations and is the exclusive New England supplier of stabilized stone dust. Reed Custom Soils services over 300 golf courses and provides unique blends to fit your needs, all by experienced precision blenders. To learn more about how Reed Custom Soils can serve you, call toll-free 1-800-924-5335 or head to reedcustomsoils.com.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It only takes 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Through 2.5, it's Gateman 4, Harbor Hawks 2. Here in McKeon Park, Jason Woodward out for inning number 3 of action. After giving up 2 in the bottom of the first. He did surrender a walk in the bottom of the second, but kept that a scoreless frame as Woodward takes 4 steps to toe the rubber once again, wipes off a few dirt specks from the white stripe that is the rubber. Now we'll go up against the teeth of the order for the Harbor Hawks in Flores, Janis, and Campbell. Kicking things off with Tito Flores, 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to short back in the first. The opening delivery, breaking ball, good off speed on that changeup. So the count 0-1 to Tito Flores out of Michigan. Woodward gets set, the 0-1 delivery. Another breaking ball, hard hit to the left side, base hit. Gets past the diving glove of Derek Fabian. And Tito Flores, now a 9-game hit streak for the Harbor Hawks in all 9 games he's played in. And the first base hit given up since just the third batter in the first, after Jason Woodward had been twirling in that back end of the first inning and the second inning as well. The floor is a few steps off of first as he's glaring right into the sun. Woodward, a couple shadows on him. The opening pitch, fastball bounced in the dirt to Justin Hyannis. Had an RBI double back in the first. That scored one of the Harbor Hawk 2 runs.
Yeah, going to be tough. I mean, Peter Burns is one of the best defensive catchers in this Cape Cod League, and he has true potential to really play pro ball just basically from his defense.
Really, really experienced out of Boston College, played for Bourne a season ago, back in the Cape League this summer. You want to deliver it. Fastball to the right side and through. Base hit for Hyannis, his second, rounding around second and surging toward third and getting in safely is Tito Flores. Now runners at the corners for Hyannis. And Jason Woodward not faring as well as he did in that first outing against Brewster. That's back-to-back hits here in the third to lead off the frame.
I mean, that's how good defensively Roden is. He was mad at himself for not being able to body that baseball. Unable to, as it went through in the right field for a base hit. That's what you're looking for. I mean, only the second time we've seen him defensively at first base, but a tough spot now for Woodward. There's still no outs.
He has to deal with Jacob Campbell, the catcher, who reached on an error by the right fielder Farrow all the way to second. Fastball low.
No movement in the Gateman pen, so this is Woodward's inning right now.
You expect him to go 4, knowing that he went 4 against Brewster, but in that one he didn't give up any hits or earned runs. He's already given up 2 today, and there's runners at the corners with no outs in the third. The pitch, lined and leaping catch made by Anderson. At second base, Max Anderson didn't let that one give him any trouble as he flashes the 1 for 1 out in the third.
That's huge, and now you'll see the middle infielders move back and kind of get a little closer to that second base bag, just trying to look to turn 2 to get out of this jam.
And to do so, they would need a grounder from Cole McConnell or some good fortune off a pitch from Woodward with runners at the corners, both leading off a few hairs. The pitch, breaking ball misses low, count 1-0. So Cole McConnell is playing in center today at a Louisiana Tech. His 10th game on the Cape out of the 11 played by Hyannis. .321 hitter in the summer with 9 hits. Fastball, strike 1 down the pipe. Cole McConnell grounded to the second baseman Anderson back in the first, but that did allow a run to score. That was the second run for the Harbor Hawks as they trail 4-2 to the Gateman. Woodward lurks off at first, now deals the pitch. Fastball, slices foul to the left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count in the bottom half of the third with 1 away. The Gatemen up 4-2 over the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, McConnell, a true threat at the plate, .321 on this season.
Woodward set at the belt. Piers at the plate. Kick in the fire. Fastball misses inside, and every Gateman fan that traveled thought that was strike 3 from Jason Woodward. His vantage point, it's tough to see. We're diagonal to the plate, so we don't see it from the perspective of the home plate umpire.
I thought I saw it pretty good.
Right, the count's 2-2 either. To the lefty McConnell, the pitch from Woodward, swung on, high fly ball to deep right field, ranging to his left Farrow. Couple steps in front of the fence, he'll make the grab, tagging up and scoring easily is Tito Flores. Another run put up on the board by Hyannis. And it's now 4-3 Gatemen over the Harbor Hawks here in the third. There's 2 away, still a runner at first.
I mean, that's how much one pitch can change a game. Obviously, you're happy with a big out right there, but if you got a strikeout in that situation, it's still a 2-run lead.
But instead, it's another run for the Harbor Hawks. Scored 3 in the first 3 frames so far. The pitch from Woodward, breaking ball, swung on to right field. Ian Farrow stretches out his glove, makes the grab, so a liner got close to the wall out there and right, but Farrow, great positioning, and that'll end the frame. But another run scratched across by the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and we head to the top of the 4th. It's Gateman 4, Harbor Hawks 3 on the Gateman Radio Network.
The 2022 Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Game will be hosted by the Wareham Gatemen on Saturday, July 23rd. Join the CCBL's best as they take to the diamond in front of scouts from every MLB organization here at Spillane Field. Gates open at 2 p.m., Home Run Derby will begin at 5, and first pitch is at 6:05 p.m. Tickets will be available through the league and Gateman website.
It's the top of the fourth here at McKeon Park with Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir for a Wareham Gateman team that leads 4-3 as Harvey Shapiro gingerly walks out to his post as the third base coach. Really interesting that in his 24th season as a head manager, first for the Gatemen, he still is the acting third base coach. He likes to be involved for a Gateman team that has a whole lot going for him, sitting at 4-5-1 off a 5-3 victory against Harwich a couple days ago. And later on in the month of July, of course we're nearing the end of the month of June, the Wareham Gatemen will host the All-Star Game. So you can head to our website and purchase tickets in order to watch the best of the best in the Cape, and maybe you can see some of your Wareham Gatemen as well. That's gateman.org to purchase tickets to the All-Star Game. Alejandro Rosario is on the mound. His third inning of work after pitching a 1-2-3 third. The kick in the fire. Opening one is called strike one to Derek Fabian, who flew out to center. That was to lead off the second.
Yeah, obviously Fabian really wants to get it going. He put on a show during BP today. Unbelievable performance.
The 0-1 pitch misses inside, count 1-1, which is a good sight to see because Derek Fabian has been one of three Florida players that's really struggled to find their groove in the early going. The 1-1 delivery. Oh, check swing, but went through was Fabian. It looked like he regretted it after it crossed the plane of home plate. And now the count's at 1-2. As Fabian gets set, taps the plate, now hovers the bat over his right shoulder. Adjusts the helmet. Rosario doesn't like the first two pitches called out by Campbell, which results in called time from the home plate umpire. The 1-2 delivery. Fastball low, count even. Birds chirping. Barely any clouds in the sky. It's a beautiful day at McKeon Park here in Hyannis, Massachusetts. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. The pitch. Fastball misses low and inside. So a healthy amount of fastballs to off speeds from Alejandro Rosario, who's the third pitcher on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. Now he'll deal the payoff with 3 balls and 2 strikes. The kick and the toss. Fabian swung through it. Yeah, he did. From this vantage point, it looked pretty obvious, but the home plate umpire wanted to check with his crew. Now there's one away in the top of the fourth, and Derek Fabian has started the season 0 for 8. Will give way to the 9-hole hitter Peter Burns, who singled with 1 out in the second. Derek Fabian, one of the late additions to this team, so you wonder, is he still adjusting from metal to wood? And as Burns swings away at the first pitch, a looper to center, Canacorin catch made by McConnell. 2 away. And that's something we were talking about earlier on in the season. The Skateman team batted a combined 128 throughout the first 3 games because everyone was adjusting. Derek Fabian, Ty Evans, Michael Robertson, few of the names that have just joined this team, and they're adjusting as well. They got a later start to the Cape Cod Baseball League season.
Yeah, underclassmen. I mean, this is a big taste for them to be at this level. I mean, honestly, you could even make the argument that playing in the Cape is more difficult than in any collegiate season. Obviously, I mean, a slow start, but these are all great players, and I think everyone's pretty confident they're going to turn this thing around.
The first pitch to Jack Hausinger is 2 for 2. Hacks away at it, fouls it back. It's a good point you make there, because a lot of these pitchers are either the number 1 starter, maybe number 2, or they're number 1 or 2 coming out of the bullpen. So these are some of the best pitchers, if not the best pitchers in the country, and you get to feature against all of them from pretty much every school in the nation. Cut on and missed on a fastball from Jack Hausinger. Count 0-2 with 2 away. Behind the count 0-2 is Hausinger, bent at the knees, leans back, gets ready. Here's the 0-2. Fastball outside, ball 1.
And we'll see if Woodward's day is done. Luke Beneke is warming up in the Gateman pen. Still has a lead.
Right now, the focus is on this frame, the 1-2. Slow roller to the right side, backhanded first baseman Shanuel. The pitch is off the glove of the recovering pitcher at Rosario, racing to second. Hausinger, he slides in safely. So good grab from Shanuel, but then flipped it over to the covering pitcher Rosario, and that went off the front end of his glove. And Hausinger, a good read on it as he rounded first and slid safely into second and beat out whatever throw there was for the covering catcher in Campbell. So Jack Hausinger has been on base all 3 times today. Had a single in the first and second, and now reaches here in the 4th.
You're up 3 times in 4 innings and reached every single time. Unbelievable.
There's a reason he's on an 8-game on-base streak, because Windish stands in. Rosario peers off at Hausinger. The pitch. An elbow lean from Hogan Windish, but chooses against swinging. It misses near the letters. Count 1-0. Now Hogan Windish with a 2 for 2 today with a single in the first and second. So 4 hits against the Harbor Hawks this season. The delivery misses high. Time is called. Jacob Campbell heads out to the mound to talk things over with Alejandro Rosario. And Alex, from the eyes of Campbell, what are you seeing out of Rosario that is maybe missing here in this frame?
Maybe just miscommunication. You know, I mean, it's so early on, only 11 games in. I mean, Campbell probably hasn't caught too much of Rosario, so it's really just trying to figure out, okay, how does a Rosario work in these type of situations? Runner in scoring position, 2 outs. What is this pitcher made of in a tight game when you're trailing?
We'll see it here. The 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball called strike 1. Well, he's made of a little bit of gusto as he comes right back after falling behind the count 2-0 and failing to make the catch on that pitch over from Shanuel, which allowed Hausinger to advance over to second. The runner in scoring position in 2 outs. The Gatemen are 166 on the season. The pitch. Another strike. Windish can't believe it. Takes a quick lean back and then looks off into the shadows that cover all of left field. It's also peering into center field as the Harbor Hawks are playing a little bit to the right in the outfield against Hogan Windish. Deuces wild in the top of the 4th. 2 outs, 1 on. Rosario the 2-2. Here's the delivery. Windish takes a hack, swings away at it. Gets nothing of the ball as it claps the glove of Campbell. And the Gatemen strand 1. And for the second straight frame, they fail to score, but still garner a 4-3 advantage. We're through 3.5. It's Gatemen 4, Harbor Hawks 3 here at McKeon Park on the Gatemen Radio Network.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile believes that when small towns thrive, America thrives. That's why they're investing billions to bring fast, reliable, and affordable wireless service beyond the big cities to small towns across America. There's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to find out more.
Gateman Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, Robertson's GMC, we are professional grade, power like a pro.
Whether it's life insurance to safeguard your loved ones, an umbrella policy to protect your teen driver, or making sure your home is covered from storm damage, Rogers Gray is there to guide you. Insurance is more than just a box to check. Trust Rogers Gray, a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
The Gateman would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gateman players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
On a beautiful day, no clouds in the sky at McKeon Park, but the lights are on as we've reached the 7 o'clock hour. And Harvey Shapiro, in his 24th year as a head manager, the first here for the Wareham Gatemen, make a pitching change. He'll take Jason Woodward out of the game, and after a 4-inning scoreless outing against Brewster last week, he might be disappointed with the result he put on against the Harbor Hawks. 3 innings of work, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, recorded only 1 strikeout to a walk as well. And the new pitcher on for the Wareham Gatemen is Luke Beneke out of Lafayette College. He's seen action both as a reliever and a starter. In that opener against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, 3 innings of work in a relief effort. Give a home run to Rocco Pepe, who's not featured in the lineup for the Harbor Hawks. 4 hits, but he did strike out 4 to no walks. And then last week, in a 12-9 loss to Falmouth, 3 2/3 as a starter, 1 earned, 2 hits. He struck out 4, facing 15 batters. So experienced in both out of the bullpen and as a starter. He's out of the pen for Harvey Shapiro and company here in the bottom of the 4th. It's a 4-3 lead for the Gatemen. First batter that Beneke will face is Matulia. Fastball, swing and a miss from Matulia, who grounded out to the previous pitcher Woodward back in the 2nd. That was to lead off the 2nd inning, as he'll do the same here in the 4th. It's Beneke set at the belt, the pitch. Popped up in foul territory, ranging to his right as Windish moving back as Fabian. It'll fall fair. So peered back in fair, and now Philip Matulia will take a long round around first and then move back to first base. No one was covering, so as that ball came into the infield, Max Anderson could do nothing with it at second. So Philip Matulia with a looper that falls for a single to open up the 4th.
Yeah, that's just baseball. I mean, honestly, what are the odds it landed almost right on that foul line in left field?
It was between the 3 players that were merging toward it as well, and Fabian moving back, Windish to his right, and the Blake right at short was all the way there as well. First pitch is hacked on to right as it'll drop for a base hit. Matulia will stop for a second, now accelerate around second base. Farrow couldn't grab it at the base of the wall. Matulia's trying to go first to home. He will, and with a standing score and a triple for Dominic Patelli, who hit that one hard to right, and it got away from Ian Farrow, who ranged to his left, tried to pick it up, and it rolled all the way to the base of the wall. And an RBI that ties this game up at 4 here in the 4th.
2 missed plays in right by Farrow, and really that's been the only hole in this defense tonight.
Ian Farrow struggled, an error back in the 1st. You wonder if, whatever the official scorer will say, if that one was also credited as an error after a base hit as a bunt from Nishida over to the first base line, scores another run. 3rd coming home is Patelli, and that'll give Hyannis the 5-4 advantage. Smart play by Riku Nishida, knowledgeable about the situation as he bunted down the first base line, and coming home easily is Patelli, an RBI. All of a sudden, Hyannis has taken a 5-4 lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Orders flip. Mitchell Jebb standing in, 1 for 2 on the day. Set at the belt, Beneke, the pitch. The last 2 hitters, the 8-9 hole, swung at the first pitch. Patelli is a dangerous one. That was a triple to right. Most likely will be scored as a base hit and then an advance on an error by the right fielder Farrow, and then Nishida a bunt that scored the runner. Fastball misses low. Count 1-1 with one away in the bottom of the fourth, and the Harbor Hawks have already scratched across two. Unlike Luke Beneke, only gave up 2 earned run coming into this one. Pitch is swung on a fastball that's roped into left center, and a single that might turn into 2. The leadoff hitter Jeb will turn it into 2 as he rounded first and stopped at second. Mitchell Jeb is 2 for 3 on the day, his first extra base hit here, and Luke Beneke has pitched himself into a struggling effort. A single, another base hit that scored a run, a fielder's choice on a bunt, and then Mitchell Jeb with the double out of the leadoff spot. So that's 5-4 Harbor Hawks over the Gatemen, and Hyannis up to 7 hits on the day. They were trailing in the hit category 8-2. It's now 8-7. Standing in the righty Tito Flores, who had a single back in the third. Beneke looks back, delivers the pitch, breaking ball down low on that first pitch to Tito Flores. Luke Beneke at a Lafayette has found himself in a hole and has put the Gatemen down by 1.
Yeah, 3 unanswered runs so far on that scoreboard. The Gatemen at some point will have to respond to if they still want to win tonight.
1-0 pitch, fastball clips the bottom of the zone. Good recovery pitch from Beneke. Count 1-1. Runner at second is Mitchell Jeb. Singled in the first and now doubles here in the fourth. Only 1 out in the bottom half of the fourth. Beneke likes the call from his battery mate Burns. The pitch, fastball high, way above the letters, ball 2. The wind's starting to roll over in our direction down the first base line. Mostly shadows cover the field except for part of right field and a little bit of the right side of the infield. Beneke gets set at the belt. Looks off at second, 2-1. Fastball. It's cracked to right, ranging back Farrow makes the grab. Tagging up from second, going to third is Jeb. There's 2 away, but the Harbor Hawks 90 feet away from doubling up the lead. Tito Flores still making his presence known with a fly ball to right into where the shadows meet the sun, and Farrow able to make the catch. Tagging up Jeb, runner at third, 2 away for the 3-hole hitter Justin Hyannis, who's 2 for 2 on the day. Righty on lefty to Hyannis, the designated hitter, swings at the first pitch, fouls it back. Game that's completely turned on its head. It was 3-0 before Hyannis even took to the plate. After the Gatemen tagged 1 more on in the top of the second, it's been all Harbor Hawks. They've scored 3 unanswered. Beneke the pitch to the lefty Hyannis, big hack and a miss. Ball that dipped on the tailing end, count 0-2. Justin Hyannis, RBI double in the first, he singled in the third. The 6th batter that Beneke is facing, the pitch, swing and a miss. Luke Beneke licks off the fingers and doesn't like his outing so far, but 1 is stranded on the base paths for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and we'll see if the Gatemen can recover down for the first time today. Through 4, it's 5-4 Harbor Hawks over Gatemen on the Gatemen Radio Network. Continuing with our corporate sponsors, we also want to recognize and thank Franklin Sports, Cape Destinations, Sullivan Tire, Highline Cruises, Barnstable Bat, Sunderland Printing, Axis Bats, Cape Space, Christmas Tree Shops, OOFOS, T-Mobile, Boston Better Business Bureau, Fairway Financial, Rogers Gray, and of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support. Through 4, it's Harbor Hawks 5, Gateman 4 here at McKeon Park in Hyannis, Massachusetts. With Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. You'd expect this game to be close because these two teams are so eerily similar in their statistics, at least. 63 hits entering this game for both teams. Hyannis with a team batting average of .209, Wareham team batting average of .205. Both teams 4-5-1 through their first 10 games. So it makes sense that the game is close, but both these teams have been piling on the runs. In the first game between these two squads, it was a pitching duel. In the second one, Wareham came with the thunder and scored 11 runs in an 11-5 win. And this one, been completely flipped from the first two matchups. Both teams are getting it done at the plate. The 3-hole hitter Max Anderson stands in, righty-on-righty matchup. Rosario, the delivery. Swings at the first pitch, chopper up the middle, base hit for Max Anderson. A leadoff single for the Nebraska Cornhusker here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, Anderson's been heating up at the plate. 2 for 3 already on the night, and that's a guy that struggled in the first few games of this season, but over the course of time, as luck has been more on his side, the hard hit ball is going right and his way now, and kind of get a little hot at the plate.
Yeah, Max Anderson started the season 0 for 10, 4 hits in his next 5, and was 0 for his last 6 before a 2 for 3 performance. First pitch swinging from Alan Roden. It's popped up to center, moving back couple feet in front of the warning track. Catches made McConnell. 1 away as Anderson scurries back to first. So Alan Roden had that 2 RBI singles breakout moment here for the Wareham Gatemen in the first, but then grounded out in the second and flies out on the first pitch seen by Rosario here in the 5th. To give way to Blake Wright, the 5-hole hitter who batted some leadoff. She was in the cleanup spot for a couple games too, and now he's in the 5-hole as a shortstop. 0 for 2 on the day. The delivery. Foul tip into the glove of Campbell. So count 0-1 to Blake Wright out of Clemson. Actually held the 3rd highest batting average for the Tigers this past spring. Who had number 1? That was Max Wagner, who was the ACC Player of the Year. Supposed to come to Hyannis, but chose against it. 1 away, the 0-1 delivery. Big hack at a ball near the eyes of Wright. Down to the count 0-2. As Max Anderson is staring in to a whole lot of sun there at first, and now takes a couple strides off the bag. Bends down to his knees, and now he's in the shadows. Count 0-2 with 1 away. Rosario the toss. Fastball fouled back to the right side over the netting. Blake Wright is 0 for his last 11, but he does have 3 ribbies in those 11 at-bats. Whether that's over the course of time with plate appearances being walks and hit by pitches, the breaking ball misses outside. Blake Wright, although he hasn't really been able to get it done with the lumber, has done his best being patient. He's walked a couple times, which has resulted in a couple runs. Sac flies as well. He's hit a couple of those this season. Anderson, couple steps off first. 1 away in the top of the 5th, the 1-2. Wright connects on 1 to deep center field, moving back. McConnell at the wall, makes the grab over his right shoulder, and Anderson will have to hit the reverse button and head back to first. Good crack of the bat from Blake Wright, but now he's 0 for his last 12. He hit that one right in the direction of McConnell, who just ranged back, took a few steps on the warning track with the view of the forest behind him, made the grab, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, 2 hitters went back-to-back with deep drives to center field, but he just got under it, and they're right at McConnell in center.
Now the righty stands in. Ian Farrow will take the first pitch, bounces in front of home plate from Alejandro Rosario, who's done his best impression of a great bullpen pitcher in Major League Baseball. Of this Wareham team scratched across 3 in the first, they've only mustered 1 since. A fastball fouled away near the dugout of the Harbor Hawks on the left side from Farrow. Was already 0 for 2 today. He was struck out ending the first, and then flew out to right in the 3rd. Pardon me, he's 1 for 2 is Farrow. That was a single in the first, and he popped up in the 3rd. Those stats I just mentioned, for Ty Evans, who's in the on-deck circle. 1-1. Farrow swing and a miss. Down low pitch on a fastball, count 1-2. Max Anderson, a leadoff single to open up the fifth, and a pair of flyouts to center. And that's where we lie, with Hyannis leading Wareham 5-4. Few crow hops from Max Anderson as he's staring right at the letters of Rosario. The pitch. Called! Strike 3! Looked a bit high. But ringing him up is the home plate umpire. Stranded one of the gatemen and threw 5.5. Or pardon me, through 4.5. It's 5-4 Harbor Hawks over the gatemen as Ian Farrow goes down looking for the first time today. And we head to the bottom of the fifth. This Hyannis leads the gatemen 5-4 here on the Gateman Radio Network. If you or a family member have been hurt at work, don't wait for the insurance company to discontinue your benefits or deny you medical treatment. Get an experienced workers' compensation attorney now before it's too late. The lawyers at Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP, have been practicing workers' compensation law for many years and are experts in the field of workers' compensation law. Having the advantage of retaining an attorney early on may make all the difference in your case. Know your rights. Be prepared and contact Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. The firm is located at 267 Main Street in Wareham and 2318 Acushnet Avenue in New Bedford. Call 508-295-0286 or visit their website, www.rkm-law.com. We're through 4.5. It's Hyannis 5, Wareham 4, and we have a defensive change made by Harvey Shapiro after Ian Farrow ran into a little bit of trouble there in right with a pair of errors, which actually allowed a few Harbor Hawks to score. Kellum Clark is the new right fielder. But Luke Beneke will stay on the mound as he stares right into his glove. It's covering a majority of his face. His hat doing the rest. He'll pitch to Jacob Campbell. The opening delivery, breaking ball down low and inside. So Kellum Clark is inserted into right as Harvey Shapiro had enough of the two errors from Ian Farrow. The 1-0. Campbell, hard hit right to Fabian at third. Great grab. Hit right into his vicinity. Made the catch with his glove up against his chest, and there's one away. So the cleanup hitter, Jacob Campbell, kick off the middle of the order here in the fifth, lines out to the third baseman. Now Cole McConnell stands in at a sac fly back in the third. Pitch from Beneke to the lefty, called strike one at the bottom of the zone. It's a pair of RBIs does McConnell, even though he's never been on base today. At a grounder that turned into a run. Same with that sac fly. 1-0's cracked to right over the glove of the leaping Roden. He'll range all the way to the base of the wall, rounding first, going to second, and stopping there is Cole McConnell. So I mentioned he hadn't been on the base paths today. That changes with one swing of the lefty bat. There's a runner in scoring position for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the fifth.
Is there a magnet in right field?
There might be. A majority of the hits for the Harbor Hawks have dropped into right, and most of them have been out of the reach of the right fielder, a pair that Ian Farrow bobbled, but that time Kellum Clark had no chance at it before it rolled all the way to the base of the wall. The fourth extra base hit for the Harbor Hawks today, swinging at the first pitch, into center for a base hit from Shanuel. Trotting all the way to third, and now getting the wave and coming home to score is Cole McConnell. Bobbling it out in center was Ty Evans, which allowed the wave home, and Cole McConnell comes in to score. It's 6-4 Hyannis over Wareham. Staying at first is Nolan Shanuel as he got his first base hit of the day. So errors galore in the outfield for the Gatemen.
I mean, the defense has been one of the highlights of this team, but not so much tonight.
It's error number 2 for Wareham. One of the errors that we thought was an error to Ian Farrow wasn't. But either way, still 2 errors on the board for the Gatemen. Big reason why they're trailing 6-4. First pitch to Matulia. The lefty watches the breaking ball breeze over the outer half of the plate. Count 0-1. So a line out on the second pitch delivered to Jacob Campbell, the 4-hole hitter. Since then, it's been a double and a single, and that single allowed Cole McConnell to come all the way from second and score. The 0-1 pitch. Misses outside, runner goes sliding in off a great throw from Burns, but safely is Shanuel, as Blake Wright had to try to slide in, corral that ball off a hop, and tag out Shanuel, but he got in there safely. So now the Harbor Hawks have stolen 10 bags this summer. Now Matulia, the lefty, as the sun starts to set, is batting with a runner in scoring position. The 1-1. Breaking ball fouled back to the left side of home plate. As Beneke stands in. Now shadows completely cover the fields. The lights loom down on McKeon Park. Looking off at second, Beneke, the 1-2. Breaking ball fouled off the bat and then off the glove of Peter Burns. Matulia will readjust his helmet and his gloves. Take a long look at his bat. Take a practice swing. Step back into the batter's box. Runner at second is Shanuel off a stolen base. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count, 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. Gatemen trail by 2. 1-2. Crack to deep right field. Kellum Clark moving back at the wall. It's out of here! Philip Matulia goes yard for his second hit of the game. And the Hyannis Harbor Hawks are piling it on. It's 8-4 Harbor Hawks over the Gatemen here in the bottom half of the 5th. Philip Matulia, showing off his pop out of Louisiana Tech, entered this game with 2 hits. Already has 2 through the first 5 innings, and tack on a pair of RBIs as well. Just his 3rd and 4th ribbies of the summer. And the Harbor Hawks are beating up Luke Beneke right now.
Yeah, it looks like Will Koger warming up in the pen, and this is just a move from Peter Burns to go out and talk to his guy just to buy some more time here to have Koger get more hot in the pen. And 6 now unanswered runs. And we'll see. Looks like a pitching change here.
Yeah, Harvey Shapiro will exit the dugout, slowly walk out to the mound, and Luke Beneke has been so good this season. Over 6 innings of work through 2 outings, only given up 2 earned runs. But entered this game in relief of Woodward. There's 2 crooked numbers in back-to-back frames that will end the day for Beneke, and Harvey Shapiro will make the change. It'll look to be Will Koger in his first appearance out of Louisville. Just got here on the Cape, and he'll jog out from the bullpen, and we'll take a break here on the Gateman Radio Network, as Hyannis has scored 6 unanswered to take an 8-4 advantage over Wareham. We'll be right back on the Gateman Radio Network.
Need physical therapy? Select Physical Therapy works directly with you and your physician to create a plan of care that meets your goals and needs, with 6 locations on Cape Cod and more across the country. Select Physical Therapy is the official provider of athletic training for the Wareham Gatemen.
Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you. After the game, visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line.
In the bottom of the fifth at McKeon Park with Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. Mentioned before the break, Harvey Shapiro electing to make a pitching change. So out goes Luke Beneke for giving up 5 earned, and in comes Will Koger out of Louisville. Just wrapped up his freshman season. 6'2", 180 from Bardstown, Kentucky. A guy in Koger that there's a bunch of Redbirds that just came to the Cape. And he'll get his first appearance, does the righty, this past spring. 14 2/3 innings of work, 10 strikeouts to 12 walks. So Koger's statistics this past spring in his freshman campaign are really up to par. Big reason why he's here this summer, as he gets his practice pitches in. And Alex, for a guy in Luke Beneke out of Lafayette that played so well at the end of his spring season, comes into this year, gives up that 1 run to Hyannis in the opener, but then pitches so well in the next 5 innings or so. To get beat around the bush like that was really tough to see for a guy that looked like he was in his stride. But the Hyannis Harbor Hawks doing a good job finding the pitches they want to hit, especially in this 5th inning. Back-to-back-to-back hits, a double, a single, and a 2-run shot. Koger, the first pitch of his summer, it's a fastball that misses low to Dominic Patelli. Still only 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. 1 run in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and that's not without mentioning 2 in the 1st. Fastball swung on to left field. Windish moves in, makes the grab, 2 away. So the second pitch that Will Koger throws here in the Cape League is a fly out to left, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the 5th with the Gatemen trailing by 4. Now the job is to respond, and the job of this pitching staff, at the helm of Eddie Marco, try to weather the storm. Once up 4-2, now trailing 8-4. Koger the kick in the fire to Nishida. Fastball misses inside as Nishida bounces on his heels a few times. Imagine the shenanigans of Nishida at the plate. Seems like he has a whole lot of moves on the right side of the plate. So he'll turn in, pitch misses once again inside. It's almost like he's doing a shuffle or a dance. It reminds me of what Johnny Cueto or Mike Clevenger does on the mound, but he does it at the plate. A couple shimmy shakes, whatever it may be. 2-1 pitch. Pardon me, that was the 2-0. Now the count 3-0. Another one misses low from Koger.
Come on, Will.
Koger in his first appearance on the Cape. 2 away. 3-0 delivery. Fastball. Dots the inside corner. Strike 1. Koger gets set. The 3-1 delivery. Another fastball finds the zone. So the count full. Good response from Will Koger. He's already forced a fly out to left. Riku Nishida does his little dance. Now gets ready for the pitch. Chops one of the left side foul. Harbor Hawks 8, Gatemen 4. Hyannis has 10 hits through the first 5. Wareham 9. Peering over his glove is Koger. So he gets ready for the pitch. The payoff. Fastball low. No, they're going to call strike 3. Didn't look like it got the bottom of the zone, but with Riku Nishida's lack of height, all of 5'6", it's a strikeout on a payoff. And that'll end the 5th. So we'll head to the top of the 6th. A fortunate call for the Gatemen. Could that spurn some offense in the top half of the 6th? We'll see on the other side. It's Gatemen 4, Harbor Hawks 8 on the Gatemen Radio Network.
What's up, Gatemen fans? Looking for Wareham jerseys, shirts, and hats? You can find all of that and more online at gateman.org/shop. Visit to get all your Gateman gear today.
Hey Gateman fans, don't miss out as the Wareham Gatemen head to Worcester, Mass. to take on the Bourne Braves at Polar Park, the home of the Worcester Red Sox. This special game at Polar Park takes place Monday, July 25th with a 6:45 first pitch. Tickets start at just $10, so head to gateman.org to get yours today.
Bottom of the order due up for the Gatemen in the top half of the sixth with Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir at now a fully covered, shadowed field here at McKeon Park. It's 8-4 Harbor Hawks over the Gatemen. What about this? After two pitchers close out the top half of the first for the Harbor Hawks, in which the Gatemen score 3. Since then, it's been the job of Alejandro Rosario to keep Wareham at bay, and he's done so in a very well manner. Only one run for the Gatemen in the last 4 offensive frames. And he's back out for inning number 5 of work. Now, Alex, you don't see this a lot in the Cape Cod Baseball League, but Rosario's pitching so well, why move away from him? As a lefty's getting up and getting ready in the bullpen for Hyannis, you would expect this would be the last frame for Rosario, unless he continues to twirl. So he deals with the bottom of the order. Ty Evans, the first batter up, fouls it behind himself. It splits the gap between the catcher Campbell and Evans, the righty at the plate. Set at the belt, the 0-1. Called strike at the bottom of the zone. Almost the identical pitch thrown by Koger to get Nishida out. That was in the last frame. The 0-2. Fastball popped up, out of play. We'll do it again.
And when an umpire changes his zone as much as what we've seen from this inning in the top half, that changes your approach so much at the plate, and it can really make you so uncomfortable because you don't know what pitch incoming could be a strike or not.
Here's the 0-2 delivery. Fastball, that one's definitely not going to be called a strike as it missed the helmet of Ty Evans. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a fly out to right. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Opening batter is Evans. The pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. 4th K of the day for Alejandro Rosario in his 5th inning of work. And Ty Evans goes down swinging for the 2nd time today. So now Evans will turn it over to his Gator teammate Derek Fabian. The third baseman stands in. Bat above his right shoulder. Righty on righty, the pitch. Hacked on, a breaking ball. The count 0-1. Out in front are these Gatemen hitters through the first 5 1/3. And it's showing, and Rosario's taking advantage of that as he nods, steps back, kicks, and fires. Another breaking ball, and again, Fabian's out in front. He knew it right when he swung. So he adjusts his helmet. Now his left thumb and pinky finger on his batting glove. Righty. Standing in. The 0-2 pitch. He read that one. Another breaking ball that dipped. Count 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes the count. Stretching out the bat, Fabian. Now the nod and the delivery on a 1-2 pitch from Alejandro Rosario, but prior to doing so, Fabian steps out of the box. Rosario stays in his stance. Didn't even step off the rubber. Just continues to nod and likes the pitch. Here's the 1-2. Fabian fouls it back into the netting.
When a pitcher is on so much, like what we've seen, just shutting down this Gateman offense, you just want to stay in your routine. And obviously, Fabian trying to disrupt that, but Rosario not letting him.
He's retired 5 out of the last 6 has Rosario. The one away in the top of the 6th. The 1-2. Fastball called. Strike 3 on the inner half. Fabian didn't like it, but he strikes out for the 2nd time today. The Florida Gators continue to struggle. We'll see what the Boston College Golden Eagle can do as he puts his bat between his legs and then corrals it. Peter Burns is 1 for 2 on the day. But there is 2 away in the top half of the 6th, the Gatemen trailing by 4. Rosario the delivery to the lefty. Burns takes a strike low. Peter is staring at the home plate umpire asking, how did that clip the zone? But it did. The count 0-1. Rosario the toss. Swung away, fouled off the front foot of Peter Burns. Dribbles all the way to the backstop. 3 consecutive strikeouts registered by Rosario dating back to the top half of the 5th, where he got Ian Farrow looking. Looking to strike out the side after getting Evans and Fabian, one by the swinging and one by the looking variety. Rosario the nod in the 0-2. From the windup, swing and a miss. Alejandro Rosario is on a tear out of the bullpen. A 3rd pitcher for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, but he's looking like the number 1 at 6 Ks, 4 in a row, and Rosario strikes out the side in the 6th as we're through 6. Or pardon me, we're through 5.5, and we head to the bottom half of the 6th. It's 8-4 Harbor Hawks over the Gatemen.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, including new majors in environmental science, sport and recreation management, graphic design, marketing, and computer science. Online at curry.edu.
Catchers aren't the only ones protecting home. With Rogers Gray, you have more coastal homeowners insurance options and a true expertise in their people. Protect your home with Rogers Gray. Rogers Gray is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Learn more at rogersgray.com.
To the bottom of the 6th we go at McKeon Park alongside Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir. Alejandro Rosario for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks has been dealing 5 innings of work, 6 Ks. Has only allowed 1 run for this Gateman team. The offense is struggling. The pitching has been suspect as well, but Will Koger's looking to shift that one around after Luke Beneke gave up 5 runs. That was following Jason Woodward giving up 3. So Will Koger closed out the bottom of the 5th, and now he'll open up the bottom half of the 6th, toe in the rubber. He'll do so against the top of the order for the Harbor Hawks, Mitchell Jebb, and Tito Flores and Justin Hyannis at the minimum. Righty on lefty, Mitchell Jebb is 2 for 3 on the day. The kick in the fire, fastball low, count 1-0. To a player in Mitchell Jebb that was activated just 5 days ago. He's manning 3rd for the Harbor Hawks today. The 1-0 pitch. Bounced way in front of home plate. Almost near where the dirt merges with the grass in front of home plate, about 10 feet off that plate. Mitchell Jebb stands in out of Michigan State. The delivery. Another one low. As Will Koger losing a bit of command, even though he's faced just 2 batters. Jebb entered this game with just 2 hits on the season, already 2 today. And we're only in the bottom of the 6th. Quick bend of the knees, now the 3-0. Another one low, so 4 straight go in the same vicinity, low near the plate, in a leadoff walk. initiated by the leadoff hitter, Mitchell Jebb. He's on base for the third time today. So after forcing Patelli to fly out and striking out Nishida looking to end the fifth, leadoff walk given up by Will Koger. Now Jebb's at first, which gives way to Tito Flores out of the 2-hole. He has a hit today as well. Couple jumps off first is Jebb. The pitch, fastball upstairs. After missing 4 low, he misses 1 in the attic. So basement to the attic, which sends out Peter Burns, his battery mate, to talk it over. Pep talk from Peter Burns as he jogs back to his post behind the dish. Trying to get Will Koger back in the swing of things, the rising sophomore out of Louisville after throwing 5 pitches to open up the 6th, all balls. All way off the plate as well. Looks off at first, now deals to the righty. The 1-0. Fastball swing and a big hack and a miss from Tito Flores out of Michigan. It's interesting, we talk about players from the same schools playing against each other as well as on the same team and from a lot of schools around the nation. Got a Michigan State player at first, and right behind him is a Michigan Wolverine, little rivalry there. Throw over to first almost in time. Roden, good job applying the tag as that throw from Koger went right to the runner who was sliding back in Jebb, but gets back safely and now brushes off some of the dirt, a few strides off first. Koger gets set. Bend to the knees. Looks in, the kick the 1-1 on a fast pitch. It's an off chopper up the middle, 6-4-3 for a double play. So right off a chop, flipped it over to Anderson, over to Roden, and that gets 2 out in the bottom of the 6th.
A big double play turn. That's the first one of the day by the Gateman defense, and a crucial one. Down 4, just trying to work a 1-2-3 inning here and get out of it and get this offense going once again.
To do so, Koger has to deal to the lefty, Justin Hyannis. The pitch. Fastball outside and low. We're in the bottom of the 6th. The Wareham Gatemen took a 3-0 early lead. Made it 4-2 in the second, then 6 unanswered by the Harbor Hawks. Koger the 1-0. Fastball low, roller to the left side, backhanded right over to first off a hop, picked by Roden in time. What a play! Blake Wright at short, Alan Roden at first as the Tiger and the Blue Jay connect for the final out of the 6th. A web gem to close out the 6th inning, and we head to the top of the 7th. Harbor Hawks 8, Gateman 4 on the Gateman Radio Network.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be a long-standing supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League and its contribution to the local economy as a treasured summer attraction. Cape Cod 5 is a community bank serving customers throughout Cape Cod, the islands, and southeastern Massachusetts. Founded in 1855, the bank's mission is to enrich the lives of those it serves while contributing to the health and vitality of its communities. Cape Cod 5 provides a full range of banking solutions, including personal and business banking, residential mortgages, investment management, and trust services. Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 of those are low or no-calorie options.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
We turn it over to the top of the 7th. It's Wareham 4, Hyannis 8. The Harbor Hawks have scored 6 unanswered alongside Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir, new pitcher on after Alejandro Rosario had himself quite the outing out of the pen. 6 Ks, 5 innings of work, only gave up 1 run, and that was back in his first inning of action in the second. Now pitching change for Eric Beatty and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. It's Magdiel Cotto out of Kentucky. This will be his 4th outing. An inning against Wareham in the opener, allowed 1 hit, struck out 3 with 4 batters faced, so did well against the Gatemen on opening day. Then the second time around, out of the pen for Cotto, he faced the Gatemen again, 2 2/3, 3 earned runs, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts to 3 walks, so not as great against the Gatemen in the second game these two teams played, and then pitched against Harwich a couple days ago as well. 2 innings of work, 3 Ks. And this, his birthday. Whole family is here. Magdiel Cotto looking for a little cherry on top by having a good outing is the righty. Pardon me, the lefty. 20th birthday for Magdiel Cotto out of Kentucky, as he'll start things off. Top of the order, Jack Hausinger. He's been on base all 3 times today.
Gateman looking to spoil his birthday.
The opening pitch, lefty on lefty. Hausinger swings away at a fastball upstairs. Count 0-1. A little mini motivation. You know, the guy's going out there. It's his 20th birthday. Wants to have a good outing. His family is here. The nerves might be there. And the Gateman trying to spoil it. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on another fastball. Just getting past the bat of Hausinger. Looks like he's swinging at the right time, but just a bit low on it as it's elevated. The count 0-2. Cotto gets set. Little turn on the rubber. The kick in the 0-2. Another fastball, swing and a hack. Another miss from Hausinger. So 3 pitches, 3 swings and misses from Hausinger, and Cotto has a birthday strikeout to open up the 7th. The offense sputtering for the Gatemen, a team in the last 4 games, batting just 155, but you have 9 hits on the day and 4 runs. As Cotto gets set to deliver to the 2-hole hitter Windish. Swings at the first pitch, pops it up to shallow right as it's right down the line. Nishida almost makes the catch, and it's going to land off the glove in fair territory. So Nishida ran over, ranging back from second, and he slapped it with his glove trying to make the catch. He landed in foul territory, but it looked like when the ball made contact with his glove, it was fair. We'll see what the umpiring crew has to say, but right now they're going to claim that was a fair ball, and Hogan Windish is at first. Eric Beatty doesn't agree, the field manager for the Harbor Hawks, and he's coming out to have a talking to this umpiring crew.
And this is an already frustrated Eric Beatty. There was a called strike 3 earlier in the game to Ruka Nishida that really did not sit well with him. So again, this frustration between the coaching staff of this Hyannis Harbor Hawks and this umpiring crew might be coming to a tipping point.
You know, Beatty's going to walk slowly back to the dugout. He's going to stop for a second to talk to his catcher, Campbell. Still looking at the umpiring crew, and they're discussing this. From this vantage point, it was a looping ball that fell a couple feet outside of the infield dirt. Nishida ranged back from second. They're going to say it's a fair ball. He did knock it into foul territory, but when it made contact with his glove, it was in fair territory. So Windish is at first and on base for the 3rd time today.
Can remember what I told you a few games ago when we were playing at Wareham? You want to treat the umpires like your best friend.
Yeah.
and in that moment, there was some things said earlier in the game to this umpiring crew, and obviously you're not looking to overturn calls, but you never want to have an umpire get on your bad side.
That's true. And then I gave you the point, the devil's advocate point, that these field managers and the rest of the coaching staff, they want to protect their players, so they're going to agree with whatever their players believe. Here's the pitch. Check swing, he went, did Anderson. So the count 1-1 with one away in the top of the 7th. 8-4 Harbor Hawks over Gateman. Couple windmill swings. Max Anderson rests it on his right shoulder. As Cotto gets set, stares off at first. The pump, then over to first to check on the leadoff base runner in Hogan Windish. So he gets back safely, and now Cotto will return to the rubber.
You never want an upstage an umpire. Rule number 1 of baseball.
1 ball, 1 strike the count, but still, Cotto off the wind will throw it over to first to check on Windish. Remember, this is a Gateman team that's only stolen 2 bags on the summer, and both are to Michael Robertson, who's not even in the lineup. You doubt here with a left-handed pitcher that Windish would steal. Now he finally throws it toward the plate. The 1-1, another check swing. It was a strike anyway. It's count 1-2 in the favor of the birthday boy, Magdiel Cotto.
And a 4-run game already in out this inning. You're just looking for base runners right here.
See if any gaps will split. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Cotto the fire. It's fouled away over the netting. We'll do it again. Beautiful day. Not as chilly as it was a week and a half ago. The sun continuing to set. Shadows all over McKeon Park. The buildings are blocking whatever sun is left. Cotto looks off at first. The 1-2 home. Swung on, hard hit to the right side and threw for a base hit. Max Anderson is showing out here at McKeon Park. His 3rd single of the night. And although Wareham trails 8-4, they're currently out hitting Hyannis 11-10. It's a Wareham team that's used to a reverse type of fortune. 2 of their wins have come when they were out hit. Right now they're out hitting Hyannis and trailing. Stepping in is the lefty Alan Roden. 2 RBI single back in the first, since then has gone 0 for 2. With 2 on and 1 away. Cotto the pitch. Looped to shallow left. It'll drop into the glove of arranging forward Tito Flores. Lost his hat, but no problem. There's 2 away. The Gatemen down 4 in the top of the 7th. Time running out. And with 2 on, you'd think this is their best opportunity. With Windish at second and Anderson at first. So now it's up to Blake Wright, who's 0 for 3 on the day. He did have an RBI in the first after he grounded into a double play. It's 1 of 3 runs for the Gatemen in the first. They're still trailing by 4. Cotto gets set at the belt. With 2 on and 2 away the pitch. Wright takes a fastball, cuts through the inner half. Count 0-1. Player in Blake Wright that's 0 for his last 12. But he had 6 hits in the 4-game stretch prior to this 0 for 12 drought. You wonder if he can find that hit and groove. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball down the pipe. Count 0-2. And Harvey Shapiro has done enough experimenting with Blake Wright, sticking him at pretty much every part of the lineup, whether it be leadoff, cleanup, down the 5-hole. He's batted out of the 6-hole. With 2 away and 2 on in the top of the 7th, Gatemen trail by 4. Cotto ahead of the count 0-2. He's set at the belt. Peers off at second. The toss. Another fastball, but it missed high. Hear the sounds of a train in the background beyond the right field fence. Past the forest that covers the entirety of beyond the fencing in the outfield. Cotto gets set to deliver the pitch. There's the 1-2. Misses inside, and good eye from Blake Wright. Those the chants from the dugout of the Wareham Gatemen. So Blake Wright, 0 for 3 on the day. We're in the 7th. There's 2 on for the Gatemen, trailing by 4. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Out of the full windup, the pitch. Another fastball inside for ball 3. So Blake Wright, once down 0 for 2 in the count, has now forced a payoff pitch from the birthday boy, Magdiel Cotto. 3 or 4 strides off the second base bag toward third for Hogan Windish as he takes one more sidestep. Adjusting his helmet off of first is Max Anderson. Runners will be off with the payoff pitch. Here's the delivery. It's low and inside, and Blake Wright will trot over to first as he flips his bat toward the Gateman dugout. So now the base is all loaded up for the Gatemen for a player that is yet to hit in this game. A defensive alignment in the last frame took Ian Farrow out of it for a guy that had been struggling anyway, only 1 for 3 on the day after a single in the first, and he was stranded there anyway. He inserted Kellum Clark, the lefty. He'll brush off some dirt, tap home plate 3 times for good luck. The base is loaded and 2 away in the top of the 7th. Cotto, glove above the mouth, the kick in the fire. Clark swings at the first pitch, fouls it off to the left side. And Alex, this is a guy in Kellum Clark. His most prolific game was here at McKeon Park. Was his breakout moment, a 3 for 5 day with 3 doubles and 3 RBIs, and that was just a week and a half ago against the same Harbor Hawks team.
Yeah, big spot right here, and he's a tying run at the plate.
The 0-1 from Cotto. Off speed, strike 2 on the outer half. So Kellum Clark represents the tying run at the plate. Blake Wright at first, Max Anderson at second, Hogan Windish at third. Defense playing straight up to Kellum Clark. Outfielders maybe a shade to the right side. Cotto ahead of the count, 0-2. The delivery. Breaking ball swing and a miss from Clark. And Hogan Windish at third, upset as he takes his helmet off and hands it over to Harvey Shapiro. So the Gatemen strand the bases loaded. Probably their best opportunity of the day outside the first and the second frames. We head to the bottom of the 7th as it's time to stretch here at McKeon Park. Harbor Hawks 8, Gatemen 4 on the Gatemen Radio Network.
Gibson Sotheby's International Realty is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. List your home with Eastern Massachusetts' premier real estate firm. Don't just get it on the market, get it the attention it deserves. Each office is independently owned and operated. Sotheby's International Realty is a registered trademark.
With competitive pay, state-of-the-art facilities, and opportunities in service, sales, accounting, HR, marketing, IT, and more, a job at Milton Cat, the Northeast Caterpillar dealer, is more than a career choice. It's a choice career. Visit miltoncat.com/careers to join their growing team.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. Cape Cod to the major leagues. Only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Bottom of the 7th between the Wareham Gatemen and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks alongside Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir. This is the 3rd meeting between these two teams already, and we're just in game 11 of 44 in the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Wareham is currently 2-0 against Hyannis, but the Harbor Hawks up 8-4 here in the bottom half of the 7th. Stepping in for the Harbor Hawks is Jacob Campbell. So watch a breaking ball be called for strike 1 high from Will Koger. So Koger's done a fantastic job relieving Luke Beneke and has kept this deficit at 4. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball, cracked, off a hop. Fabian scoops it, lost it for a second over to first. It escapes the glove of Rodin, After racing there is Campbell and actually collided with the glove of Alan Roden, and he'll be safe at first. So Fabian lost it for a second after it took a weird hop off where the infield grass merges with the infield dirt over there at third. Tried to grab it out of his glove, couldn't. Butterfingers for a second, lasered it over to first, but colliding with the glove of Roden is Campbell, and he's safe at first for a leadoff base runner in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, it looked like Fabian just couldn't get a good hold of the baseball there and took his time, and then when he released it, was just off the bag that pushed Roden off, and another error committed. The game of defense.
Yeah, the third error for Wareham. Koger, the kick in the fire. First pitch to the righty, Rocco Pepe. It's a pinch hitter for this Hyannis team. So Cole McConnell in the 5 holes replaced by Rocco Pepe, who had a home run against the Gatemen on opening day. He's standing in. Partly orange bat. Now resting on his right shoulder. The pitch. Slow roller up the first base line. Turning over to second for one to right for his Alan Roden. And there's one away. Safe at first is Rocco Pepe.
That's a play only a few first basemen at the collegiate level can make. You know, in that moment, I think you're looking to just get the easy out at first, but Roden has the full confidence in his ability to throw it down to second base to get the lead runner out, and that's a crucial point.
And Blake Wright, a great snag as well at second, as Roden avoid throwing it right at the back of the surging Jacob Campbell. So he's out at second, but Pepe is safe at first off the fielder's choice ground out. Gives away to the lefty Nolan Shanuel. Thrown off toward first is Koger, and the fans behind us thought that was a good pickoff. Rocco Pepe slides in safely.
Yeah, I think Roden thought he got him too. Double checking with the first base umpire there, making sure what exactly led for him to decide it. He was safe.
Nolan Shanuel lifts his bat way above his helmet. Koger the kick and the delivery. First pitch is low to Shanuel. Nolan Shanuel out of Florida Atlantic University. Played in all 11 games for the Harbor Hawks. Today, he's 1 for 3 with the single back in the 5th. He flew out in the 3rd and struck out in the 1st. Pepe's at first. They're going to check on him. The tag applied by Roden, but safe is the call. Koger takes a deep breath, gets set in the cranberry jerseys. The 1-0. Fastball swing and a miss. Burns goes over to check on Pepe, but he steps back in safely. So smart from Peter Burns behind the dish to realize that Pepe's leadoff has been a bit larger than I think would be qualified for getting back safe. And Burns threw it over to first and almost picked off Rocco Pepe, who already was a few crow hops towards second. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count in the bottom of the 7th with 1 away. Koger the pitch. It's popped up, slicing out of play, and drops in the back of the bleachers on the left side over the netting. Packed house here at McKeon Park. Not just the bleachers right behind the Hyannis Harbor Hawks dugout, but the smaller blue-laden bleachers that represent the Harbor Hawk colors behind home plate and from dugout to dugout, and then a few fans on the berms down the left and right field lines. 1-2 pitch. Fastball bounced in the dirt. Burns looking for it. He'll finally grab it, and Pepe will decide against racing to second. Count 2-2 with 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. Harbor Hawks 8, Gatemen 4. Koger heating his hands up. He'll puff into both. Looks down at the mound. Dangling right hand near his right hip. Gloving the ball near his left hip. Pepe few strides off of first. The 2-2 toss. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. What a pitch. Off speed from Will Koger. It's a strikeout swinging. 2 away in the bottom half of the 7th. Second K for Will Koger, the first by the swinging variety, which gives way to Philip Matulia, who broke this game open in the 5th inning with a 2-run shot to right. One of many hard-hit balls to right field today. A couple of them have resulted in a few errors, actually 2 of the 3 by the gateman, which have allowed advancement on the base path for this Harbor Hawks team. First pitch misses inside. Burns leaped up, looked toward first. Wanted to throw it that way because Pepe was a good third of the way already toward second. Decides against it. Takes his post behind the dish. Those Boston College pads. Those golden maroon colors. Count 1-0. Koger the pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss late from Matulia. Count even 1-1. Philip Matulia 2 for 3 on the day. In the 4th, he had a single. In the 5th, like I mentioned, that 2-run home run to make it 8-4. Koger gets set after peering off at first. 1-1 delivery. Bounced in the dirt. Great block by Peter Burns, and he's been great the back end of that battery as he wants to give himself a little bit of a break. Walks around that dirt circle that represents home plate in the middle. Throws it off to Koger, replaces the ball, and gets it back to the Louisville Cardinal. Without Peter Burns, Alex, this could be a few more runs for the Harbor Hawks because his presence being felt, how he's able to block a lot of those bouncers in the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, Peter Burns is one of the best defensive catchers that we've seen this summer in the Cape.
Runner at first, 2 away, bottom of the 7th. Koger on the rubber. Set at the belt. Deep breath, the kick, the fire. Breaking ball misses in the dirt at the knees of Peter Burns, the catcher. Koger, ball in both of his hands, rubbing it off a bit. Now drops it into his glove near his left hip. A look off at first. A long look at that with Pepe, arms dangled a few feet off. Throws it back to first. Good pickoff attempt, but Pepe gets back in time. Morocco Pepe's risking it a bit because the last few pickoff attempts have been really, really close. But he's still going to take 4 side steps towards second. Now Koger, the 3-1 pitch. Fastball misses inside. Pepe will jog over to second. That one courtesy of a walk delivered by Will Koger. To Philip Matulia, who's on the base paths for the 3rd time today. The second one was not for long as he rounded the bases with a 2-run shot. The second walk given up by Will Koger out of Louisville in his first Cape appearance for the Gatemen. Runners at first and second in the bottom of the 7th. 8-4 Harbor Hawks over Gatemen. There are 2 away. Lefty Patelli stands in. Swinging the lumber, swings at the first pitch, past the glove of the pitcher, but a flip over Anderson to right. So ground out 4-6 to end the 7th, and we'll head to the top half of the 8th with the Gatemen still trailing 8-4. Can Wareham's offense get it going and expand upon 11 hits on the day? We'll see on the other side here on the Wareham Radio Network.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile is committed to serve those who serve, and that's why they go above and beyond for our active duty military, veterans, and first responders. Visit your neighborhood T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com to learn more.
As a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, the Mass State Lottery is celebrating the games we love playing, from the baseball diamond to the many lottery games that help support all 351 cities and towns across the Commonwealth. So here's to 50 years of winning and 50 more.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for over 30 years. And we're honored to support the CCBL and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
To the top of the 8th we go. Wareham trails 8-4 to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks alongside Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir. Magdiel Cotto out of Kentucky back on the mound for a second inning of work, celebrating his 20th birthday today. And doing so with a good inning pitched in the 7th. Got Kellum Clark striking out with the bases loaded as now he'll face the bottom of the order. Leading it off with Ty Evans out of Florida. The lefty kicking the fire, swung on hard hit ball to right, ranging to his left. Matulia making the grab. There's one away. And still, every Florida Gator on this roster, whether it be Michael Robertson, Ty Evans, or Derek Fabian, yet to record a hit, which will give way to Derek Fabian. In good contact, but it just didn't fall like 11 other baseballs that did for the Gatemen today. They got 11 hits. Hyannis only 10, but the Harbor Hawks are up by 4. As Fabian stands in, does the righty. It's a lefty-on-righty matchup. With one away in the 8th, the fire. On the opening pitch, it misses low and inside as Cotto receives the ball right back. The count 1-0. Derek Fabian flew out to center in the 2nd and struck out swinging in the 4th and looking in the 6th. The pitch. Fouled off to the right side over the netting. And Alex, this is a Gateman team that only mustered 17 hits over the last 4 games, 11 today, but they're trailing 8-4. So the bats have been hot, but it hasn't resulted in enough runs in order to take over the lead from the Harbor Hawks as the lefty fires in a fastball, cuts through the inner half, count 1-2.
Yeah, it's the old saying, right? When you can't hit, that's when the pitchers can do their best work. And then when you can hit, the pitchers kind of are the ones that are struggling. And today it's just been that back and forth battle.
It's the game of baseball, the purest form. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cotto adjusts his belt, steps off the rubber. Time is called. Fabian will fidget with his left batter's glove. The 1-2. Slow roller down the third base line. It's picked up, scooped, and no throw over to first. Fabian beats out any possible throw. It's a good speed by Derek Fabian, and that'll be the first hit from a Florida Gator in a Wareham Gateman uniform this summer.
Well, smiles over there on first by Fabian, and I think I saw some smiles from Robertson and Evans as well. As I mean, we all knew what was going on, right? There's no secret, so a big relief off all 3 of those shoulders.
Especially because the Florida Gators entered this game 0 for 24. They hadn't had a hit up to that point. So runner at first, Fabian, a couple strides off of first. There's one away. The delivery to the 9-hole hitter Burns. Fastball misses outside. Wareham Gatemen scored 3 in the first, 1 in the second. In the last 5 offensive frames, big old goose eggs on the scoreboard in right field here at McKeon Park. Cotto looks off at first. In the full windup, the pitch popped up into foul territory, moving back the catcher Campbell. He'll look up into the lights, make the catch, 2 away. So Peter Burns, who had a single back in the 2nd, has followed that up with a flyout, a strikeout, and a pop-up. And you wonder, going back to that 7th inning in which the Wareham Gatemen had the bases loaded with 2 away and Kellum Clark up at the plate, they squandered a very valuable opportunity. And with 2 outs in the top of the 8th, Harvey Shapiro is going to call on a pinch hitter because the hits, the runs just haven't been there since the early portion of the game. So Hausinger walks back to the dugout after he was already a foot into the batter's box, and enter Brian Padilla in his Cape League debut here in 2022 out of UConn. So Cotto's dealing with a righty instead of a lefty with 1 on in Derek Fabian. Set at the belt, taking a deep breath is Cotto out of Kentucky. The delivery. Padilla will watch that first pitch miss low.
Yeah, after Padilla redshirted in 2021, he started 60 out of 61 games this past season for the Huskies. He had 282, 15 doubles, 2 triples, 8 homers, and 37 steaks. He also has a speed. 4 to 5 stolen bases attempts.
Cotto will test the speed of Fabian, throw it over to first, and Derek will retreat back to the bag. Yeah, this guy can hit. I think the big question entering the beginning of the season for the Gatemen is, as guys started to filter in, how do you shift up the lineup? You bring in Padilla here in the 8th as a batting option. The pitch, testing Fabian over at first, is the catcher Campbell after a ball was thrown on the outside and missed. And Fabian slid back safely into first and will adjust his belt. Got dirt in the upper leg and bottom jersey area. He's back on the bag, sidesteps 3 times, staring right at Magdiel Cotto, who's looking in his direction as the lefty. The 2-0. Brian Padilla swing and a miss. So the first Yukon Husky we've seen in a Gateman uniform in 2022. Fabian still at first, where he beat out throw at third on an infield single. That's strike 2 in the inner half. So Padilla, the righty, up against Cotto, the lefty. The runner at first and 2 away in the top half of the 8th. The count 2-2. Cotto the look off. Now the toss. Called! Strike 3 on the inner half. Dotted that inside corner. Brian Padilla gets a welcome to the Cape League with a strikeout looking, and Magdiel Cotto, another birthday K for the new 20-year-old. So we'll head to the bottom half of the 8th. We're through 7.5. It's Hyannis 8, Wareham 4 as the Harbor Hawks are looking for win number 1 over the Gatemen this season. See you in the bottom half of the 8th on the Wareham Gateman Radio Network.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This week's special celebration of Red Shirt Friday is sponsored by Zypher Hats, Massachusetts State Lottery, and OT Sports. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Milton Cat is proud to support the Cape Cod Baseball League. From paving and landscaping to recreational boating and facility management, Milton Cat has the right equipment, parts, service, and technology to keep you working. Visit miltoncat.com to learn more. Local craft beer, great food, games, outdoor beer garden, and live music. That's all at Stone Path Malt. Better malt, better beer. Conveniently located across from Wareham Crossing in the West Wareham Industrial Park. Check them out. To the bottom of the 8th we go. It's been the same score for the last 2.5 as Hyannis leads Wareham 8-4. The Gatemen still out hitting the Harbor Hawks 12-10, but the 3 errors has been a big separator between these two teams, those 3 by Wareham. First pitch in there from Koger to Nishida is bounced in the dirt. Already talked about Riku Nishida and his transfer over to Oregon from Mount Hood Community College. A lot of people said he was the shocker coming out of the first week of practice for this Hyannis team. And since then, he's been in the starting lineup. Fouls a ball off his foot, and the count is 1-1. And Will Koger has gone 2 2/3 after recording the final 2 outs of the 5th, facing 3 in the 6th and 5 in the 7th. And now the delivery on a 1-1 to the 9-hole hitter Nishida shows a bunt and a couple chops over to Fabian, who charged in and mishandled it with his bare hand, and Nishida races through the bag. So Derek Fabian charged in. He read it all the way. A few hops on that bunt as Nishida laid it down late. And he's at first.
Another error charge to this team.
I was waiting for the official score on that one, but it did look like Fabian could have snatched it with the bare hand but was unable to do so. Be an error on Derek Fabian. The fourth error, that's a season high for the Gatemen in a single game. The order's flipped and Mitchell Jebb steps up. Hard hit ball, sharply hit through the middle. A single for Jebb as Nishida takes a sharp turn around second. Will retreat back to the bag. And a base hit given up by Will Koger. It's the first one that he's given up in his outing today. Now there's 2 on with no outs in the bottom of the 8th, and A.J. Guerrero steps in as a pinch hitter for Tito Flores. So after much deliberation, actually not an error charged to Derek Fabian, it's switched on the scoreboard. We'll switch it as well. It'll be a base hit for Riku Nishida in the 9 hole. He's at second. As Koger looks in on the pitch to Guerrero. Gets set at the letters. Takes a deep breath, off look at second. Nishida goes the double steal attempt. Peter Burns no throw as both runners slide in safely.
Yeah, both Anderson and Wright nowhere near the second base bag, so Burns had to kind of just hold on to it.
Good read. Riku Nishida with his pace was already at third before Burns even hopped up. The only play he had was at second, but a good jog from Mitchell Jebb gets him over to second base. Now 2 in scoring position, still no outs. Pitch from Koger. Guerrero takes a big cut at it, misses. The count 0-2. Two on the delivery. Guerrero, another big swing. Down the pipe, and he strikes out swinging. So A.J. Guerrero goes down on strikes. Guerrero out of Washington in just his 4th game, and Koger retires him early. There's still 2 in scoring position, though, after a pair of base hits and a pair of stolen bags. Nishida at third and Jebb at second. Stepping in is the lefty, Justin Hyannis, the designated hitter. The toss. Fastball up. Burns had to hop off his current stance and make the grab. The count 1-0 with 1 away and 2 on. Koger trying to work out of a jam with 1 away in the bottom of the 8th, down 4. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses outside. Been a hitting barrage here at McKeon Park. 12 hits for the Gatemen, 12 for the Harbor Hawks. But in the runs category, Hyannis leads 8-4. Koger, the deep breath into 2-0. Oh, it hits the lefty Hyannis. Tried to jump out of the way, but that fastball right off of his leg. Now the base is all loaded up. And Koger doesn't look like he's lost a lot of his command. But Eddie Marco, the pitching coach, didn't like where that one ended up, as he'll waltz out to the mound and talk it over. The only positive for the Gatemen is now you have someone at first, and that opens up the double play ball.
Right, and I mean, you're trailing 4 runs with the top of the 9th. Obviously, we've seen it before, Cam, where this Gateman team was down 8 runs at one moment in time and had the tie run at the plate just a few days ago. So this is the team that the never say die mentality is really within this team and offense, but they're just trying to keep it a 4-run game at this moment in time.
That was a loss to Falmouth, in which they scored 4 without being recorded in the bottom of the 9th. Finished with 5 in the bottom of the 9th, but it was an 8-run deficit, so ultimately lost 12-9 to Falmouth. This is a situation in which the Gatemen, if they lose this game, have lost 5 of their last 6. The base is loaded for the Harbor Hawks. The corner's in, Fabian at third, Rode in at first. Up at the plate is the righty Campbell as he fouls off the first fastball high. And it's chopped to the left side into the bullpen for the Harbor Hawks. A bullpen that's kept this Wareham offense at bay. Only 4 runs in all were accumulated in the first 2 frames.
And it appears to be Jack Sullivan warming up in the Gateman pen if this inning continues.
Will Koger is working on inning number 3 of the day. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball misses low into the bottomed glove of Peter Burns. It's a righty-on-righty matchup. Campbell reached on an error in the first, lined out in the third and the fifth. Here's the pitch. Another breaking ball. Out in front of it is Campbell as he foul tips it in the glove of Burns. So ahead of the count is Will Koger as he adjusts the lip on his hat. The count is 1-2. This could be a huge strikeout for Koger. The base is all loaded up and 1 away. The kick in the 1-2 toss. Fastball low, count even. Will Koger has 3 strikeouts today. 1 looking, 2 swinging. Yeah, but none more important than what could become a strikeout to make it 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. The base is loaded and the Gateman down 4. Harbor Hawks looking for insurance runs. Wareham trying to avoid that. The delivery, breaking ball, foul to the left side. Good fight off from Jacob Campbell, the catcher out of Illinois. For a guy in Jacob Campbell, it's played in now 10 games in the Cape League, all but the opener against Wareham. Came into this one batting .292. Holds his bat vertical in front of his eyes and now hovers it above his helmet.
Almost like Euclid.
Yeah, the 2-2. Fastball, swing and a miss. Huge for Will Koger. That's K number 4, but that might be the most important of them all. The bases stay loaded, but now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Now Rocco Pepe, who pinch hit last frame in the 7th, is up at the plate. Now Will Koger, all he has to do is deal with Pepe, and the base is stranded for this Harbor Hawks team. Still a lot of work to do, but this could be huge heading into the top of the 9th. Pitch to Pepe, breaking ball, connected on to deep center field, ranging to his left, making the grab is Evans. And the Hyannis Harbor Hawks suffer the same fortune as the Wareham Gatemen did in the 7th, and they strand the bases loaded. But Hyannis does have an 8-4 advantage as we head to the top half of the 9th. Final opportunity for the Gatemen to try to come back in this one. Will they? Well, you got to stick with us to figure out. We head to the top of the 9th inning. New pitcher on for the Harbor Hawks when we come back on the Gateman Radio Network.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. In-person and online classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in accounting, business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Tom and Jean Yockey were passionate about the game of baseball. Over their 7 decades as owners of the Boston Red Sox, the Yockeys greatly invested in youth and amateur athletics in our community. They recognized the important skills baseball can bring to players both on and off the field: cooperation, respect, teamwork, friendships, and confidence. The Yockey Foundation has been proud to support the Cape League for more than 25 years.
Looking for your dream home on the Cape? Gibson Sotheby's International Realty's dedicated team of real estate professionals are ready to make your dream a reality. Don't just look for a place, discover a home. Each office is independently owned and operated. Sotheby's International Realty is a registered trademark.
We're in the top of the ninth. Final opportunity for the Gatemen, but they do trail by 4. With Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. Wareham scored the first 3 runs of this game. It was followed up by 2 from the Harbor Hawks in the bottom half of the first. Then Wareham tacked on another in the top half of the second. That's rounded out the scoring for the Gatemen, but then the Harbor Hawks tacked on 6 unanswered from the 3rd to the 5th frame, and that's where we stand. It's been the same score ever since the bottom half of the 5th. And get this, it's a Harbor Hawks team that's 4-5-1. They're coming off a 7-1 win against the Brewster Whitecaps. And then it's a Harbor Hawks team that has never won back-to-back games. In fact, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks have batted .161 following wins, 15 of 93. So after a win, the Harbor Hawks have only mustered 15 hits. Today, Hyannis has 12 and 8 runs to show for it. New pitcher on for the Harbor Hawks is Wes Burton out of Ole Miss. Actually pitched against the Gatemen earlier this season. That was in the 11-5 Gatemen win here at McKeon Park. An inning of work, gave a 1 hit, walked 2 and 6 batters faced. He's only faced 9 so far this summer, 3 against the Orleans Firebirds, the day after opening day.
This is my kind of guy on the mound.
He has the high leg kick, but also the high delivery as the pitch is in there for strike 1 to Hogan Windish. So the teeth of the order for the Wareham Gatemen, looking to avoid losing 5 of their last 6, but in a hole right now. The kick in the fire, fastball misses high. It's an odd delivery, hard to explain, as Wes Burton will stretch his left arm over his head and now stare right into his glove.
Well, this guy talks to his glove.
Well, he's talking and staring right into his glove that's a few feet away from his face. The kick and the delivery on a fastball that dips down there for strike 2, so the count 1-2.
Growing up, obviously, big Nolan Ryan fan over here, and he always says that you got to be a little scary on the mound because if you're a hitter, you should be a little afraid of what's coming in from the pitcher.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from the Ole Miss running Rebel. Gives a word to his glove. Will hope to give maybe a word to his pitch here. He's still staring at his glove. Didn't like the call from his catcher Campbell as he extends his arm, steps off the rubber, now steps back on as Windish takes a second, will adjust his helmet. Now Jacob Campbell will take off his catcher's helmet and head out to the mound to talk it over with Wes Burton. Something we've talked about all season long is as much as these hitters are adapting to the wood bats and adapting to the level of play here on the Cape, these batteries are adapting to each other. These catchers, Jacob Campbell has already caught now for 5 pitchers in this game. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count, no outs in the top of the 9th. It's 8-4 Harbor Hawks over Gatemen. Burton ready to deliver the pitch. Back step, now kick the 1-2. Fastball upstairs, check swing from Windish. He did not go. The Windish will lodge his bat between his armpit, now take it out like a sword and get ready. Burton extends his arms. The 2-2. Breaking ball fouled off the foot of Windish. We'll do it again. So Hogan Windish today is 3 for 4, one of his most dynamic days. One of 3 players on this Wareham team that batted over 300 through the first 10 games of the season, and his average will only rise as a top 10 batting average in the Cape Cod Baseball League as well. So the perfect guy to lead off in a 4-run deficit in the 9th. 2-2 from Burton. Fastball swing and a miss. First K for Wes Burton, and the 5th pitcher of the day for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks records a K to kick off the 9th.
All smiles on the mound now from Burton. He says, I mean, he's normal when he's not pitching, but when he's on the mound, he's just goes into a different level, and sometimes it's what you need.
So now he'll deliver to Max Anderson, who also has 3 singles on his day. Off-speed pitch misses in the dirt. Count 1-0. The Nebraska Cornhusker ended an 0-for-6 streak coming into this game. The single in the 1st, 5th, and 7th. The delivery. Fastball down. Campbell can't hold on to it, but no one on the base path, so nothing to worry about. The count is 2-0 to Anderson, who's rocking the goggles as he always does. Burton likes the call. 2-0. Fastball swing and a miss. I know you gave out a little chuckle because, yes, they're not goggles or glasses, but in an athletic sense, you can consider them like goggles. I'm taking it all the way back to the Showtime days in which Kareem wore the goggles, Big Game James wore the goggles, so I'm used to athletically you'd wear goggles. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, another one, a fastball low. Good pitch from Wes Burton.
I was laughing at, you said, he's wearing them again. And I went, well, I hope so.
He has to see.
Right.
Wes Burton sees a 2-2 count with one away in the top of the ninth, extends his arms, likes the pitch, delivers the 2-2. Another fastball. Didn't like how he jumped off the rubber. Did a little bit of an Irish hop on that fastball that missed low. The payoff pitch. Bounces in the dirt. Fallen to his back foot is Wes Burton. Off a walk. Delivered by the Ole Miss running Rebel. Trotting over to first is Max Anderson. The fourth time he's been on base today. And hey, a little bit of momentum for a Wareham team that hasn't been able to find anything since the early parts of this game. And Anderson at first. Now you wonder, how can this Wareham team start to garner some attention from the defense? Because so far it's been the pitching prowess of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They've struck out 11 batters for the Gatemen. The opening pitch to Alan Roden out of Creighton, fastball high near the eyes. So Roden, a 2 RBI single in the first, and it seemed at that point, after 4 straight singles, to open up the game. Okay, Wareham's going to run away with this one, but since then, Roden out of the cleanup spot is 0 for 3. 5 hits in the first for the Gatemen. Since then, 7 in the last 7 offensive frames. The delivery from Burton, another fastball at the eyes. Makes a crackling sound with the glove of Campbell, but it misses the strike zone, count 2-0.
And there is some movement in the Hyannis pen just in case. Burton does work into a jam here. You don't want to lose this game. You have a 4-run lead in the top of the ninth. This is a game you can't lose if you're Hyannis.
2-0 pitch. Oh, it flirts with the top of the strike zone. Looked like it was in the same vicinity as the previous pitches, but instead it's called a strike. So count 2-1. The Hyannis team still looking to win back-to-back games for the first time this season. They're coming off a 7-1 win over Brewster a couple days ago in a home-and-home with the Whitecaps. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball, slap to deep right field, moving back Matulia. He leaps, makes the grab right on the warning track. So Philip Matulia hit one out of the yard to break this one open in the 5th, and then snags an extra base knock away from the lefty Roden, and there's 2 away, and the Harbor Hawks are 1 out away of winning back-to-back games for the first time in the Young Cape season. To do so, Wes Burton will have to deal with Blake Wright, the righty. With Max Anderson at first, after he was able to draw a walk. The Achilles heel of this team has been, well, by their own fruition with 3 errors. They've also struck out 11 times. Burton the pitch, fastball on the inner half. Yeah, clips the strike zone. Called strike 1. As Burton adjusts his right shoulder. Will do so with his pants and his jersey as well. All whites for the Harbor Hawks today. As he peers in, dangles his right arm near his hip, looks off at first, removes his glove near his armpit, now brings it set at the neck. The pitch on a fastball is clobbered foul. When I say clobbered, you could see where that ball made contact with the bat. Almost like embers burning off the bat. Hard pitch, as Wes Burton's known for throwing in the 90s. Blake Wright still searching for his first hit of the day. The Gatemen down to their final strike with a runner at first and 2 away. Burn the pitch, breaking ball high. The Gatemen stay alive. For a team in the Wareham Gatemen that lost 4 prior to beating Harwich 5-3 a couple days ago, entered this game, and in the second frame they were up 4-2. All of a sudden, the game got flipped on top of its head. It's 8-4 Hyannis, still looking for win number 1 against Wareham this season. With 1 on. The 1-2 delivery, fastball, looped into shallow left center, moving back, making the grab is Dominic Patelli. And that marks the 5th loss in the last 6 games for the Wareham Gatemen, who looked to be on a groove in the first 2 frames, but then Hyannis completely flips the script, and they pick up their first win over Wareham, and the Harbor Hawks are 5-5-1 on the season, while the Gatemen 4-6-1. The final score, Hyannis 8, Wareham 4. Both teams register 12 hits, but it's the Wareham's 3 errors that was really the decider between these 2 teams, outside of the Harbor Hawks picking up 6 runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings combined. Now we welcome you into the South Coast Health post-game show. Alex, first reactions from this 8-4 loss, in which it looked like it was going to be a repeat of that 11-5 win here at McKeon Park. The first 4 batters reached with a single, 5 hits in the first, but then the pitching kind of fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, the offense started red hot, right? They scored 3 runs, and that gave this team a 3-0 lead, and that dissipated quickly. 6 unanswered runs were scored, and that's when you have a 4-2 lead going into the top of the 3rd inning, that's a game you can't lose. You don't want to lose those games, and the defense, that's what really surprised me most. I mean, this was a game and a team that really was solidified defensively, but I mean, there was 3 errors tonight, but you could make the argument there was up to 5 errors tonight. 2 weren't ruled errors that got changed into hits, home field advantage, but still, I mean, the defense was what surprised me the most.
The defense has been so good for this team, the offense not so much, and in this game, the offense looked good, but then the defense lets them down. It just seems like out of the 3 gears of Gateman baseball, with the defense, the pitching, and the offense, they never can put together all 3. They've only been able to do it a handful of times this season. Well, today, the offense got rolling, the pitching not so much, and the defense not at all. That'll end our coverage here at McKeon Park and the South Coast Health post-game show. So for our producer, Joey Demaray, and Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir, saying so long as the Gatemen drop to 4-6-1 on the season, following an 8-4 loss to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. The next game for the Gatemen will be tomorrow at Falmouth. That game will start again at 6 o'clock, as most games do. Join us for the South Coast Health pregame show at 5:45, as our own Kate Crenshaw will be on the call. I will be right next to him as your analyst, and then the Gatemen are back home for a doubleheader against Harwich on Sunday prior to an off day on Monday. So that'll wrap up our coverage. Wareham loses 8-4 and loses to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks for the first time this season. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday night, as it's a beautiful Cape day, and hopefully it's beautiful